Hello. Is it me? Hello. Hang on. Why is my mic not working? Yeah, it is working. I'm being stupid. Hello, folks. Welcome to Heavyweight Gaming. Gamesy. Nice heroes here. Yes. Oh, I forgot to do something. See if this still works. Have we got it on here? Yeah, there we go. The animation. I'll have to get Omar's link and we can put it in the chat as well. Look at that, folks. Yeah, welcome back. Woo. Right, welcome to the channel. Dude, did the cat attack your keyboard? Yeah, we'll blame it on the cat. Yeah, welcome everyone in chat. Gravesbane, I think your questions have already been answered about multiple times. Games in, nice heroes here, thank you. Goblin Dad, good to see you. Rest of you are regulars, I see you all the time.
Wow.
Thank you for the soap, everybody.
Where's my fun things?
We've got emojis. We've got emojis, folks. They got uploaded yesterday. The artwork is by Friday. We've got some more emojis coming. So yeah, get your emojis. Will start spamming. Go check out Friday on Instagram. Her artwork is super cool, and I'm currently bugging her to set herself some stuff up and sell lots, become a millionaire, and then buy me a Greg's. So, what do we do first? Social media. We are on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. If you go check out push the buttons under the stream, they'll take you straight there, or follow the links that'll probably appear in chat, or just go to them and search Heavyweight Gaming and you'll find us. It's usually me talking about, writing about Colossus, new ideas we've got, going live, all that sort of good stuff. If you want to come and join us in our Discord, loads of people got Discords, they're everywhere. If you want to come and speak to us, join the Discord. We've got loads of other nerds in there from our other games, our friends, our community of nerds. So, yeah, come and say hello, talk to us about world building, share your artwork, share your ideas, and we'll nerd out together. Super cool. If, for some unknown reason, you've got hundreds of hours that you wish to fill with YouTube, go to our YouTube. And we're all there. And I mean hundreds of hours. This is session 68. One away from a funny number, I'm told. Yeah. It's so close. So close! I've got something special planned for the... No, I haven't. Go check out YouTube. We've got our one-shots on there from our vampire games, Masks, Tales of the Loop, the previous 60-odd sessions of this lot, the previous 8 or 9 sessions of Mondays, our Carbon 2185 games, our Pathfinder games. It's all there. Just go check it out. We've got, like I said, there's hundreds of hours of it. So, Vampire. Well done, Goblin. And we also have a podcast. So if you go to Anchor or Spotify and look for Heavyweight RPG, you'll find the Mondays is currently being podcast. We're currently working on downloading Fables Among Titans and Carbon, and that'll be hitting a podcast as well. Because who wants a life, eh? So, what else have we got after social media? Sponsors, we do sponsors. You can see the lovely pictures on the overlay. Our sponsors, first one, Loki Battle Mats. If you go check them out, just anywhere, follow their link. If you've got a Kickstarter and Twitter and all this good stuff, Facebook, you name it, they're all over it. Every time they drop a Kickstarter, instantly funded because they're good at what they do. Giant books of battle maps that just flip out on your table and boom, you've got your tundras, your forests, your arcane circles, your towns, your taverns, your wilderness. They're currently doing castles and caverns, or they're just done castles and caverns. You have to check it out. They did a sci-fi one, straight away funded, loads of cool spaceships and planets and stuff like this to throw out. Really cool what they do. If you play digitally, like we do, they sell them all exactly the same. Everything they make physically, they also sell a digital copy, so you can run them on your Roll20, Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, and other virtual tabletops, etc. So go check out Lucky Battle Maps. The little chibi tokens that's on the slideshow, just next to the symbol, the logo of Cinescape that keeps slideshowing. Yeah, there's the ruby. Coyote Grey is an artist. A really, really cool chibi artist. Well, probably does more than chibis, but I love his chibis. I love his chibi. I might have to change that sentence a little bit. But if you go to the marketplace on Roll20, search for Coyote Grey, you'll see all the chibi token packs, including a Cyberpunk pack. I bought them all because they're amazing. You should do it too. Download them. You can use them on your other virtual tabletops, but you can only acquire them at the marketplace on Roll20. And they're super, super cool. The ones you see on the slideshow, you can't buy because they belong to us. Because they are the characters you see before you. So yes, but that does mean you can buy your own. So yeah, get hold of him and go check him out. He's amazing, and he did the cover shot that you can see in the bottom left-hand corner of a very different style, but the same characters. So yeah, go check out Chaotic Grey. Sunscape, not a sponsor, but they're amazing. They do epic sounds for epic games, which means if we're using them, we're an epic game. That's as cheesy as it gets, kids. I'm telling you right now. If you want music blasting out in the background of your games, your tabletop, your tablet, your PC, your laptop, your phone, Bluetooth device, you can have Dragonfire and farmyards and taverns and magic going off all in the background, and it's super cool and ambient. If you play like we do online, you can download the web player app and you can play the music through the app and your players can hear it and turn it up and down as they see fit. Right, so what have we got next? Ashana. Ashana's a glass crafter. It's not often I get to say it, well, once a week. She's a glass crafter. Absolutely amazing streamer to hang out with, to watch, to just chill with. Watching her make little glass figurines of Murlocs from World of Warcraft, sea turtles from Planet Earth. There are dragons and all sorts of stuff. She's done little dice protectors, and they're little dragons of multiple colours, just protecting your D20s from rolling that ones. But yeah, she's super cool at what she does. Go check her out on Instagram. She's on Twitter and such, but Instagram is where she posts most of her pictures. She also streams under the same name. She's got a Discord, etc. You can go check out all her cool stuff. I've got a lot of time for Ashana, so much so, she's American across the water. This is leading into something else. So much so that I will be running a short, I'm trying to make it short, adventure / not campaign for Ashana and her friends. So it will be at silly o'clock from like maybe 1 a.m. till 4 a.m. type stuff. Once a week. It's fine, I'll sleep when I'm dead. So watch out for that when we announce that. It will be set in Colossus. It may or may not tie into this lot's campaigns. Just putting it out there. So yeah, so we'll let you know when that's happening. Roughworks Creative. If you like woodwork and leatherwork by a gentleman gifted to us by the gods, go check out Roughworks Creative. It never posts, so you got to nudge him to post, but if you check out his photo album, you see the stuff he's made before. His dice trays are unbelievable. His 40k, Warhammer 40k dice tray that he made for a friend's birthday, etc. is absolutely brilliant. The Dungeon Master screen he's made for myself is stunning and will be with me at the Games Expo this year, so people could see it instead of just my face, but hopefully we'll get there where you can see it as well. There's if you go to the Heavyweight Gaming Facebook page, you could go to a photo, see a video, and it will show you it all lovely unboxed and wonderful. I didn't cry, it was windy in the living room. What else we got on here? Is that it for sponsors? That's it for sponsors. Who am I shouting about? What's next, Mel?
Reroll. GSCon.
GSCon.
UK Games Expo.
Oh, Ruby?
Tasha?
Oh yeah, if you go to DM's Guild, Tasha's heavier crockpot's a bit heavier. Tasha's speaking like James.
Try again. Come on.
Tasha's heavier crockpot of bits and bobs. There you go. The first major supplement by HWG for DnD5e has been out for over a year. Tasha's heavier crockpot of bits and bobs is 81 pages of subclasses, spells, artwork, and everything TTRPG player wants. Find it here for $9.95 on DM's Guild. Follow the link. Not only is it 81 pages, it's 80 spells. Like, it's ridiculous. The Dragon Song Bard is one of the favourite subclasses I've ever seen. Yes, I am biased, but at the same time...
I mean, I'm also biased.
Because,
just saying.
Yeah. But there's some incredible artwork in there, incredible nerdy ideas for 5e content. Please go check it out. All the credits are in there. Top right-hand corner, just saying. Is it top right-hand corner? It is for me, yeah. Luke, the one playing Cass. Yeah?
Hi.
You've drawn a picture or two. It's in the book.
One or eight.
1 or 8. Go check it out. It's incredible. Off the back of that, we also released, or Arcane, my partner in crime, or one of my many partners in crime, is released Frank and Kenzie's. Right, get it out there. What is it, Mel? Frank and Kenzie's Tradesfolk Compendium. Jesus, wet fucking nerds everywhere. It is full of all the stuff like professions and backgrounds and stuff for your D&D characters, what you can do with them, what you can take more from just having these toolkits, why have a chef's kit if you're just going to make eggs and bacon on a morning, but you can do lots of other things. There's loads of little, as you can see, loads of little Easter eggs, giving a nudge to our sponsors, friends of the stream. It's a really nice homage to all the folk that have been involved over the last couple of years. It gives us a bit of love.
Also, the Heavyweight Guild is like the best guild and made me cry, as per usual.
The Heavyweight Guild is a very, very nice homage to me and my family from Arcane, and it made everyone else cry, but I thought it was shit. So,
Oi!
what? Look. Right.
I made you look
He drew some
banging, my
artwork for
guy.
you.
To be fair, yeah, that's why I don't like it. You've given me unreachable expectations.
You made him too good.
Yeah. I was like,
It's your fault he's off to the gym after the stream, mate.
That's it. Like, I've been staring at a pork pie for 6 months now. I ate it straight away. Yes. Is there a command for the t-shirts? There is not. Mel, we need a command for the t-shirt.
Yeah, not tonight. I don't do it on a Tuesday.
So go check out that. Right, what else we got? I really want to. Right, the Games Expo, June. Seemed like 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 5, 6 weeks.
No longer, no.
It's soon. So the UK Games Expo at the NEC in Birmingham. Bardic Inspiration will be there, and they sell dice, dice jails, dice bags. My favourite thing they sell is scented candles. It's a sentence I've had to practice saying because I never thought I'd say it, but they truly are brilliant at creating a extra ambience to your games around the table and such. Or if you're just watching, you know, Fraser. Is that you lot old enough for Fraser? No.
Yes.
Fraser?
Look at Mel.
Fraser?
Yes.
Fraser?
This guy that lives next door. It's fine. I hate all you kids.
Like tossed salad and scrambled eggs? Fraser?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the way he said it, right? It's not
Yeah,
just
it was
me.
just
Fraser.
the way.
I was actually
Like-
thinking, who's the serial killer?
Dexter.
Dexter. I couldn't remember Dexter, so I went with
You're
Fraser.
lucky Mel got in there first, because that's my pub quiz area is serial killers. I was about to come off with that list.
Jack,
Which
Steve,
one?
Brian. Right. So we'll be at the Games Expo. Me and Eddie will be there. It's heavyweight gaming. We got a little piece on the end of the table. Well, I'm going to put my Dungeon Master screen. I'm going to put my beautiful flowery pink dice bag. We're going to have a suggestion box. That's right, kids. If you turn up, you can suggest things to stick in the world of Colossus.
I'm going to stick so many things in that box.
All right, Andrew. All right, calm yourself. It's not 9 o'clock yet. So, come along and you'll get to listen to me and Eddie shout out really loudly about Colossus and nerds. And while you're there, you can buy stuff from Bardic Inspiration. Boom! At the beginning of Manchester on the 6th and 7th. At the beginning. Why do I keep
Every
saying that?
time.
Why do I keep saying that?
At the beginning of
To be honest, I didn't even notice anything wrong with that sentence until everyone else laughed.
At the beginning of August. I
in
can't-
Manchester.
Honestly, don't know what that is. I need to say something about that. At the beginning of August in Manchester, 6th and 7th, GSCon is running. It is a massive convention that's been held. I can't remember the name of the venue, but if you follow the link,
Manchester Metropolitan University.
what Zandria said, it's been held there. They're raising money for gamers that use gaming as their means, their therapy around their mental health and such. It's a really cool cause. There's a lot of passion being put into it. It's humbling to be part of it. And I'll be there dungeon mastering a one-shot for about 4 hours to 8 to 10 players, because why not? We've got our own seminar room. There'll be loads of nerds shouting and heckling. It'll be like the World Cup of D&D. Is how, yeah, that'll never happen. But if you do go and you do want to buy a ticket, make sure you use the code EMRIS10 because you get 10% off your ticket. Emrys looks exactly like the person playing Zandria. They are a brilliant streamer. Go check them out on their own stream. Emrys Plays. We'll get that link put in the chat. But yeah, she's sponsoring the con because she's amazing. So if you want a cheaper ticket, please use that code. Are you off, mate?
Yeah.
No, mate. Ginge,
The good child.
kiss and go. Right, go.
The not so good child. The one who didn't even come and say good night or give a kiss. Until forced.
What? I hate that kid. So, yeah, come to GSCon. Is that it? Bits? Is that the last thing? Bits?
It's
Nice.
And then it's time for a break.
yep.
Roll initiative. Break
It's the
time.
longest intro.
It's because Sean's back. Do you feel sorry for the adventurers? A monkey face. Donate 200 bits last year's to give the party a reroll. They can't be used on the DM or death saving throws. They don't roll over to the following week. And there is no longer a cap. So if you want to throw hundreds and hundreds of thousands of millions of billions of zillions of bits at these people, you can.
We need them.
Please.
I mean, I wouldn't want to kiss my dad live around the world. I mean,
What?
fair. That's what Great Pate said in the chat.
Because
You've got me there. You've got me there.
Because the kiddo didn't come and
Oh,
give Kiss goodnight.
Oh.
He's ginger, so I've got to punish
That's
him.
why, yeah, he's ginger. He's
Sure.
a bad kid.
Yeah, if you want to throw bits in, please do. You don't have to, but they are appreciated, and they pay for, I don't know, Sam's
Train tickets.
Train tickets.
Thank you, Ree.
Fellow ginger sprog with honour. Don't be giving them bits already, Ree. If you do
There you
throw
go, you got
500
one back.
If you throw 500 bits in, I get one, as demonstrated by Dwarf Warrior.
Hey, you know you have a link.
Right,
Now. You have to remember the link. You have to remember the link. I'm going to put it in for you this once.
What's it? What is it? Moose?
Yep.
What the fuck is moose?
Because you killed a moose on the Friday game.
Did I?
So I felt sorry. No, the players, sorry. The
Oh,
players
the players.
killed a moose on
Yeah.
the Friday game, so I felt sorry for them. So I decided I'd make you a link.
Brilliant. Yeah, and I'll you don't challenge someone to a bit off. Jesus, what?
Don't complain as the runner of this channel.
I mean,
bit off is good for business.
3, 2, 1, go.
We have 2 rerolls, okay. I'm writing down 2 rerolls
2
for us.
rerolls.
Hopefully, yeah, we don't have to try and remember 80s. Like, if 80 forgets stuff.
Which is
That's why I made it
all
obscure.
the
There's a
time.
reason. There's
Right.
a reason I made it really obscure.
So it is session 68. Yep. You are
Yep.
currently in the country. What is pinging again? Gravebane. Thank you very much.
Grayfang.
We've got a hype train going, incoming. Right, so you're in the Towan Highlands. It is a rolling hills, cliffs, forests. There is a light rain majority of the time, or at least at this time of year. Nothing like the drudge of Ravenholm. Need a new headset. But you are at Ruby's home, and you're with her family, and you have spent the night there. You have eaten very well, the ultimate roast dinner. It is like a carvery forever. You have bathed, or at least one of you has. Caspian is disgusted at the rest of the party for not having washed in the 6 months. Just pulling frogs out of people there and stuff. You are essentially had a actual long rest, and I don't mean mechanically. I mean you've chilled out. There hasn't been demons fighting you, unliving creatures, fae creatures, wizards running around the deserts, up temples in the Fae Dynasty, beneath the dunes fighing horrific
Not had a
creatures.
12 session long day.
39 session long day. There's no dragons. Not that there is any in Colossus. There's nothing. You've just been chilled out with one of your friends' family. Enjoying a bit of bants and some good old-fashioned tatties and meat. However, it is the evening. You are all settling down for a long rest, and there is promise of an early wake-up call, which Harry cannot wait for. As soon
Harry's gonna
as
hate you all. It's gonna be lovely.
you all manage to get your long rest, if you need to tick the box, and whatever that benefits you may or may not get. The first ray, and I mean first, like a pixel of light, touches the sky. And Dave, Big Jimmy are up. I mean, Jimmy is not a quiet chap, bless him. You hear Big Jimmy bounding out and around the kitchen area where you were all before, stepping over folk that slept on the floor. Who was in the barn? Was that you, Rubes? Did you give up your bed for the barn?
Ruby slept in the garden with the
In
dog.
garden with the dog. There we go.
Xandria and
She told the
Tessa
rest
in
of
the
you.
barn?
She said
Oh,
you
boy.
could use her bedroom, but the bed was halfling sized, so anyone in the bedroom had to sleep on the floor unless they wanted to fold in half.
I'm
basically.
fairly confident the rest of us were in the barn, bar Harry, who was sleeping in Ruby's bedroom
I'm sure
on
Harry
the
took
floor.
a bed. Yeah.
Yeah, because didn't want to sleep in a barn, but the rest of us were like, barn.
Barn.
And
Bam, bam.
Sapphire basically.
We grew up in a tent.
Yeah.
Well, Sapphire was
That's
basically
pretty
like,
solid.
which place in this will actually be big enough for me? And he thought, barn will do. Barn will do.
Barn will do. So there's probably just a pile. There's probably just like Sapphire curled up, and then the siblings just on top of him, like fur.
So, you lot will hear a more as Big Jimmy's on the indoors. Harry, it's more like clang, smash. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come overhead.
Terminator
You've
1.
also
It
got,
out.
you've also got, of course, all the birds going off.
Everything.
Chickens,
Everything wakes up.
cockerels,
It
geese,
is.
songbirds, dawn chorus.
It's like they all got
everything with
together
feathers
in
is
the
awake.
yard and they all waited. If you'd have looked out a second before, you'd have seen every bird creature in the Highlands just staring up at the sky waiting.
I mean, Xandria's already up, like, has been for 4 hours, because she only sleeps 4 hours.
What have you
That's
been doing?
cool. So you get to watch the birds stare at the sky for 4 hours.
Pretty much. Xandria is most likely outside the barn, just
She's
watching.
out there with them.
Yeah.
Eldritch Blast!
Chickens like that. What's she doing? That's all animals of Colossus. For some reason, smoke. I don't know why. I don't even smoke myself. I don't know why. But every animal
Especially the
just
mice.
seems to be. Yeah, the
especially
mice.
the mice.
Always got a roll up going. I don't know what it is. We'll have to bring vape into Colossus. It's healthy.
I mean, it made me laugh like last night when suddenly, you know, dog had to talk, and I was like, oh, Eddie's used to this.
But they didn't speak to animal. They tried dog on dog.
Didn't.
It was a bit. We'll change that sentence. So
Yeah.
the the first ray of light. Big Jimmy is up, bounding around. Already got a kettle going. It's probably the most annoying sound you've ever heard, Harry, as the whistle hits. Dave is up. Pearl and Pearl would have gone home with baby, not staying with you lot. But Mama is up, so Mama Megan is up. She is kind of just humming as she walks around in the kitchen area. This is mainly for you, Harry, as on the way past, Jimmy, Dave, and Megan all knocked on the door in various different voices, going, "Get up!"
And Ruby's knocked on the window because she was up with the rest
There's
of them.
as they're making the brews and stuff, there's loads and loads of mugs put out and hot teas are made. Megan puts her head out of the window to call into the garden, sees Andrea there, sees like he's face to face with Ruby as she stood on a stool and Ruby's just stood at the window.
Morning, Mum.
Morning, dear. Bring your friends in. It's let's get them some breakfast and let's get his hands dirty before you go. No better than starting the day with some good old graft.
You've just told Ruby to summon other people to her position. You know exactly what's about to happen. And all the dogs in Colossus
Corner
are about
Frost?
to wake
Oh,
up as
no.
well.
Oh no.
On a frost. No.
No, whistle, right?
Big
Yeah.
whistle.
Yes.
So-
Shepherd Druid doing
Ruby
a whistle.
grins at the opportunity to do this, but she stands outside her bedroom window, so it is closest to Ari, and it's the dad
Facing the
whistle.
window.
Like with a glass, and it's from the barn. You clearly hear the proper. It's the dad whistle, the tee up whistle.
I feel
Cool.
like it's probably not the first time they
Oh,
have
you've heard
encountered.
There's a lot more.
Ruby's whistled.
There's a lot
to
more
you
energy
before,
behind
but-
this one. So
Yeah,
you are.
and this is like this is how shepherds communicate across rolling hills, and we are now in the rolling hills, so
Yeah.
it's echoing and bouncing and
Like Sapphire suddenly covers his ears and like rolls
Hey, everywhere. Just
rapidly.
like,
Kes
Which
goes
is then
flying
followed
off.
by a oh, fuck! It's like Kes gets
thrown into a pile of hay.
I love
Sapphire's
how
like bolt upright, squishing the top of his ears down.
level 10 this is the most danger you've been in.
Lovely.
I
So,
think Ruby wants us.
as you were all called to awakenedness, except Xandria was just like, well, that was unnecessary. Big Jimmy has stood at the door, Harry, with 2 pots of tea, and just holds one to you as you just kind of one eye up. You getting up then, Princey?
Yes.
Yeah, get that down, you. Have you up in seconds. It's hot though. Do you need me to blow it for you? Is that how it works? Like, I have to cool it down for you?
Not the tea, but
Filth, just filth. You couldn't wait 27 minutes, could you?
look, I'm back in the country, alright? I had to make my mark already.
Even T.S. My Love knows. So, by the way, Sean's back, folks. So, Harry,
we're back to peddling filth.
how are you reacting, Harry?
character as well. God damn it.
You were so in character for 4 seconds.
I was.
Tired. Oh no. Oh. Morning glow.
It's just like he literally says "fuck off" to him.
There's a massive smile. He puts the mug down on the little bedside table next to you. Okay. And off he pods. Smug as.
I mean, he'll drink the tea, like, slowly, but...
It is quite... It's for hot liquid, it's refreshing. Like, there is a sweetness to it. Maybe they've put honey in it or something, but there's definitely a strong sweetness to it. And you kind of perk up a little bit. I don't mean like, woo, but you just bring you around a little bit.
Caffeine in it.
You could probably do with some of this back home after a night in the tavern.
Yeah.
It is,
Ruby's probably made something similar, but kind of scratched similar with what she has available, not what is readily available here. So
not that, Ruby's hurt.
familiar, but better.
Just so you know, I can make that. You all make your way back into the kitchen, I'm assuming. Are you making your way into the kitchen because of the call of Ruby? In you go. There are sausages and strips of bacon. There are cheeses. There's some apples and pears and such that are just put on the table. Again, is just covered in food. And you see Jimmy just descend upon it like he's never eaten in his life. Dave has a healthier amount, but is quite fine in waiting to reach out and not lose his hand to his son. But and you see Megan, as any person will know, their mother's just eating a grape in the corner, waiting for everyone else to eat on a Ryvita. But they still a thing? Ryvita's still a thing?
Yeah,
Jesus
they are. They're tasty.
Christ, this should have been banned. Oh, cardboard and birdseed. So,
I like them.
well, just because you're a druid. So, breakfast is served. Dave greets you all with a fine hello, hearty good morning and such. There's now 3 rays of light that have hit the hills. It's still very dark. You can still hear the creatures of all manner loving life on the farm. And Jimmy, every now and then, just stares at Harry, keeps eating, carries on eating, looks down, stares back at Harry. Like there is a unnecessary joy about Jimmy at the minute. Who clipped? Need me to blow it. Who clipped?
It says who clipped it.
Courtesy of Emrys. You're disgusting.
I don't know who Emrys is. Remember, Emrys looks very similar to me.
Very similar.
What? Not the
She's
same.
a
Evil
terrible
twins.
streamer.
Not
Don't
the
go
same.
watch her.
Not the same.
So,
Anyway,
do you wish to morning talk, or are you just all waiting for me to hammer Harry into the ground?
waiting for you to hammer.
Oh,
no,
100%. I feel like most of the other party members would be used to a rise at dawn lifestyle,
Yeah.
Not Ari.
Harry's
Oh,
met a couple
Harry.
of dawns, but not.
but not from this.
That side
not
of
from
it.
this
From this
side.
side, no. Well, yeah, Ruby was awake. She's happily chatting away with the rest of the family. What needs to be done today? What should be done first?
Cool. So Ruby just instantly goes into like
like she never
chore
left.
mode, as it were. Like she's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll start doing this. I'll start doing this. Kesfion, Xandria, Sapphire, you spot not necessarily the task that needs doing, but there's similarities. Preparing the animals for like getting them fed, getting them comfortable, getting them out of the places they've been sleeping and stuff. Very basic stuff that is just second nature to you all. Sapphire, you grew up in the tundras and grew up with a very disciplined lifestyle in the temples, and again, all part of I say normal, but house life or just generic life that didn't involve hunting demons. Those sort of tasks are a big part of your training, and it helps you keep grounded and keep a reality check on yourself and not get carried away with just leaping into tears in the material realm and disappearing into the hellfires every 5
I
minutes.
don't know what you're talking about.
If it ain't a mirror, I'm not interested. And you just kind of, without asking or without necessarily knowing, just go and just follow Ruby's suit. Harry's still both hands on the brew in not a hangover, but why are we
Looking
up
like
this
if
early?
he could climb into the mug.
Probably would.
Curl back down.
Like, I feel like he also kind of was brought up in the kind of soldier lifestyle.
Soldier lifestyle, you are definitely know what it's like to be up early, to be told to run, to work out, to swing your sword, to backflip, drills on the wall.
Ever.
But you ran away to become a tat.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
like, you may remember it, and that is what is encouraging you to put your face into the brew.
Yeah,
and breathe
exactly.
deeply, yeah.
And your exercise with Fantonio is not the same exercise that Jimmy's about to put you through.
No,
I don't know.
At best
Pretty
here,
hot, apparently.
the lightest labour you can hope for in this situation is housework, which is like full-on scrubbing floors, laundry, like all these things still need to be done.
Cobwebs, dusting.
Cobwebs, dusting, but either way it's going to be manual labour. It's just whether it's domestic manual labour or...
There's a difference between enjoying the physicality of exercise and pinning a sheep down to shave it.
Don't share them till summer.
Not in hut. We're in Toa now. I'm doing whatever I can to make Harry roll saves, alright?
It's summer, don't you know?
Zandria's there.
Checks.
Zandria, wherever Zandria is, summer, done.
Ah.
Portable
So
summer.
true, so true.
I mean, look at the smiles you get from her. Do you know what I mean? So, without even really realising, Harry, you notice that Jimmy is sat right next to you as you take a drink and you look up and he's so close, his forearm's right next to you. So, Prince, you're with me this morning. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Cool, let's go. And then as he's about to leave, Mama Irwin says, don't forget your prayers. And he goes, all right. And Dave says the same, all right. And around near where the doorway is, on the main door that leads out of the home, there are essentially two like nailed hooks causing a bit of a makeshift shelf, and there are several wooden staffs on. Well, there aren't several. There is 3 wooden staffs on there. Ruby, did you put yours there when you came on?
She would have done out of habit, yeah.
Yeah, and you can see the place where Ruby's shepherd's crook staff is. It's kind of above the door because that's where the most space was for Ruby's massive staff. You see Jimmy take down his oaken staff, and it's just an oaken crook. It's not a it's not as long. You could probably use it as a decent club, to be fair, but it's definitely of oaken make. Dave gets his. You haven't written down Dave's stuff?
I didn't. Not for Dave. I did for the brothers, but not for Dave, so you'll have to choose.
Well, look at that.
Rowan.
Yep. Pull down the Rowan. It is more a hiking staff. It's still if they cracked you with it, but they do have a Rowan staff in their hands, which I'm going to add now to your lovely family rifle.
Thank you.
Rowan staff. And Megan, what's your mother got?
Didn't make that one up either.
What? Absolute.
I didn't assign Carla Drydack either. It's just the.
Just the boys. Just you and the boys.
Just, yeah, the
Well,
three
Pearl's
shepherds
not
and
there, so
siblings.
we don't need to worry about Pearl right now. Right, I'll tell you what. Because your mum's is birch. Okay?
Yep.
And the reason being, it matches your dad's. So, you see Megan, Mother Irwin, pull her birch. She's already got her birch staff just kind of resting near the counter that she was at. Dave Irwin picks up his Rowan staff, and Big Jimmy grabs his oaken staff / club. And they kind of nod as if, oh shit, we needed reminding. They put her out into the yard, and they just rest on their knees, and they kind of put their staffs in front of them, and they just mutter something in Halfling. Only Ruby knows. Do any of you others speak Halfling? You don't, do you?
Nah.
Nah, cool. So they
They know a
just...
few swear words now.
Yeah. None of the swear words are mentioned, and it's just a very nice, or it sounds very nice, whatever they're saying. Ruby, it's to you the normal, thanks for the morning, reaching out to the Drydack, wishing for strong roots and green leaves, and just very, very simplistic cheers for the morning type sort of prayer.
Yeah.
They then go back to themselves. They put their staffs back on those racks. For you, Ruby, you use your staff everywhere because you're a shepherd. Dad only uses it when he goes for walks. Jimmy only uses it if he's, trying to be the big un around town. And your mum very rarely doesn't have hers by her side. And it's a maybe 2 foot long is Megan's staff. She could probably use it in a similar way to what it's more like a quarter staff, so it's kind of long, smooth, there's no bits, it doesn't curve, it's very nicely made. But it's always by her side, or at least nearby. So they say their prayers to the Drydarker, and then Dave goes straight into... And Dave is just chilled out this morning, loving the fact that there are many hands make light work. He's not actually doing much work himself, but is supervising and is following around, has got quite a... what's the word? A soft smile on his face as he's watching his daughter and her friends do the chores of farmers, and reminding him of when he was a nipper and he was, with his friends and they were chasing the chickens around the yard and stuff. And Dave is having a lovely time of just taking it all in. You can see him towards the front gate to the yard. Again, every now and then he'll walk around you all and then just rest there, and just that soft smile as he looks out upon you all as now 5 rays of sunlight have come over the hills. Mama Irwin is back and forth as the morning progresses. And the sun is beginning to fully rise above the hills. It is a pretty fresh and crisp morning for this time of year. There's no rain, but there is when you breathe it in, it's icy, but it's got a refreshingness to it as you breathe it in. The air is wonderful around here. Ravenholm, there is almost a hidden nature to the weather and the atmosphere and the ambience of the dark forest and such. But here it is fresh, freeing, and a little bit nippy. But Mama Irwin, she's back and forth. She brings out fruits and a lot of fruit juices that she's probably just squeezed down and then barehanded because she's a halfling and they're all hoorah. But she is loving the fact that she's got very much as she was yesterday. She was very flustered, and you could see that she was kind of ahead of herself in trying to be the hostess, with you all turning up. But now,
full nest.
Yeah, now it's settled down and she's aware that you're all there. Now her head's going. Mama Bear's head's rolling. She's like, cool, I can give them drinks and I can do this, I can make that one comfortable and this. And she's now got her to-do list that she's just going through backwards and forwards to you all. And every now and then slapping Jimmy for not doing his chore, and he keeps staring over Xandria's way. Jimmy is doing quite a good job at keeping Harry away from you lot. And there is a couple of walls just on the outside of the yard, and a few of the stones, a fair amount of the stones, it's a dry wall, have been pushed over, and there's a big hole in the stones. None of you remember that wall being pushed over when you first got here. But for some reason, during the night or the early morning, that wall has been pushed over. And the first task Jimmy needs help with is putting that wall back together. And Harry has been volunteered by Mama Irwin and Father Irwin, so Jimmy says, to give Jimmy a hand. So your first task of the day, Harry. It's gravy time! Oh, Festus. What a name. The 7th. Your first task of the day, as a level 10 swashbuckler bard adventurer, is to rebuild a dry wall with a very meathead halfling. So, as you kind of saunter out to Jimmy, he starts passing you stones, and he's just smiling, and he gives you more, and he keeps giving you more, and give me a strength check. As he's deliberately testing your ability to carry
my
stuff.
-1 in strength. Let's see how this goes.
It's quite hard to dexterously.
That was
I
a
just
good
rolled
roll.
a 16. That is a 15, my friend.
15? Cool.
Yeah.
So the amount of stones Jimmy puts on you, if you were to stand there and just try and brute force it, you're going to drop a few. However, there was plenty of moments that you had to walk around with a weight in your hand and have your arms extended, or hold a specific stance for a long time with sword out, or etc. etc. So you're used to being under strain during physical. I cannot word that in any way that will sound good. You're used to exercise, okay?
Yeah.
Sapphire, get back in your box. and you manage to kind of just adjust your footing, take a bit of a wider stance and brace yourself and hold the stones. And you kind of just
I
look
feel
back
like he'd
at Jimmy.
almost be like offloading them as well, like as he kind of
Just
needs
like,
to. Like he'd be like,
Succeeding out of spite is what you're doing.
And you're only about 3 or
Yeah.
4 foot from the wall. Just you bring them over here, and I'll put the wall back together. Unless you know how to drywall. Do you know how to drywall?
No.
I can't believe Harry's thinking about this. Does
thinking
Harry
about
know how
whether
to
or not
drywall?
lie or not.
No. There's no way
No.
Abby knows how to drywall.
Well,
Oh
it's
no,
not,
but
it's-
why you would think to lie about
I
it,
was like-
Melody, too?
So, Jimmy will give you 3, take 1, put it in the right place. Give you another 2, take 1, put it in the place. And he's definitely been a bit of a prick. So as your wall is carrying on, and the rest of you conversing, or are you just pointing and laughing and ushering around shots?
Oh no, stay
No,
busy,
stay
stay out of the line
Yeah,
of fire.
yeah, yeah.
Fuck that noise.
So every
If
time you
Ruby's
have a...
still in the yard, you're lucky because she's
Ruby
probably
is
gone
wherever
straight.
Ruby wants to be.
Ruby's probably headed straight up to the pastures.
Cool.
Like she's a speck up on one of the hills amongst this little
And
like,
Jeannie's next character will be a paladin.
yeah, she's in the pasture with the sheep. That was her chore. She's tending the animals.
Cool.
I feel like if there's any, like,
You want an eagle whistle.
probably fowl or goats or anything like that, that's probably most likely what the siblings are most used to. So if there's any of those, they're like, oh yeah, we could do those.
Collecting the eggies and
There's
Yeah,
definitely,
yeah.
definitely stuff like that to go on.
We're like, we recognize this animal.
We know what this is.
We've done those chores before. We'll take those ones.
Those are ours. Get out of the way.
Oh no, Ari, will you have fun with that wall?
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, Sapphire will happily have like volunteered to do things as well. Just point him in a direction, give him a job to do. He'll happily help out. He will laugh at Ari when he's leaving, but he will.
Yeah.
But he'll happily go do jobs.
As you're all doing your bit, and Harry, you're clearly, like, I mean, fair play. You're giving as good as you get. You continue to hold the stones, and then walking up the pathway, like you can see now in the essentially farmhouses / farm hill houses, like dug into the hills. More people are in the yards doing very similar things to what your friends are doing. There are folks now walking up and down the pathways in between all these hills and these homes on top, beneath the ground, etc. And there is folk carrying barrels of something on like 2-wheeled sack barrows. There are folks carrying sacks just on their shoulders. Some have got them on a cart being pulled by a pony. And that you can now see that where the home of the Irwins is, they're slightly at the top of a hill. Not quite like just on top, but they're further up the hill than first noticed when you've essentially got here and ran straight to the house. And you can now see down into, it's not a valley, but it's towards the bottom of the hill, more and more. And as the sun is slowly rising higher and higher, you can see the absolute serenity that is the Towan Highlands and the chaos of the farmers that don't seem to be rushing around, but seem to be doing a lot. Everything in Ravenholm is fast and organised, and there's, you know, a structure to it, and there are meetings and fights and move this over there and do this on the wall, drinking all the time, partying all the time, practicing your fighting all the time. Everyone's just so busy, just constantly doing something. Whereas here, they have, it appears, an abundance of tasks to do. No one's rushing around. Folks are just getting on with it. You can see multiple colours of tartan across like the hills and stuff as folk are in there like representing throughout your reds, your greys, your greens, your blues, your very shades of blues, your very shades of reds. It is a serene scene to see so many people just, and you can hear the creatures from all around you, the cows mooing and such. And you can see a few folk further up, like dots on the hills that spread out where you see sheep and such. You've no idea if one of them's Ruby, but you know there's one halfling that definitely looks bigger than the rest.
the sun rises, you might occasionally just see a flash of that pale gold colour now that the the not quite human hair.
That's
is
very
actually
true.
exposed
That's
to
true. The hair
sunlight
is
for the
very,
first time.
very hello these days. Coming towards you in a red and grey tartan is a young girl, halfling that I think you've met before. She has red hair, green eyes. She's coming towards you. If you do know her, she's called Gwennifer, and is the niece of Buckington Timbercarry. You have definitely seen the tartan before when you were in the tavern, maybe session 1, 2, 3, those first couple of sessions. And I'm pretty
Probably
sure she
3,
was
4.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as Gwennifer's walking towards you, she has a short, thick trunk, like tree trunk on her shoulder. She's carrying it along, and she's got a woodcutter's axe just hanging from her hip. The handle is just missing the floor. Again, she's 3.5 feet, so an axe you'd probably use as a throwing axe or a hand axe. But she's got this short, 3 foot as tall as her trunk on her shoulder, and she's just walking towards you. You notice Jimmy immediately turn away, like back to the path, and continue doing the work, so he is completely shielded from anyone on the path, and there is a rosiness to his cheeks. Not the cockiness that you saw with Andrea the night before or early this morning sneaking a look, or even with yourself. He's gone full beetroot and turns his back, and you see Gwennifer just pottering up, and she makes eye contact with you, and there is a moment of recognition between the pair of you. And she slowly walks towards you. She keeps walking and staring. Do you interrupt or do you let her go?
Where do I recognise her from?
When you
A
know
tavern
when
full
everyone
of
got
halflings.
so when you all got the you're the tsunami, you're the eagle, you're the
Oh, okay.
she was with the gnomes and halflings then. When you had the orcs and the dragonborn and everybody were there for that, the blood bowl.
God, that was so long ago.
It was
I think
65 sessions ago.
That's why I'm like, where did I
And,
recognise her
that's
from?
exactly it. Gwennifer is having the same sort of thing with you. Like, you know her, she knows you, but you can't quite figure out where from.
I feel like he'd probably recognise the tartan more than her, like a little bit, and just kind of be like, just nod to her. Just be like,
She
"You right?"
nods, looking as she walks past. You can just hear
Giving her
her.
exactly the same look.
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, I know you from."
She just keeps walking.
Like when you go to a convention and you're just like,
Oh, hi, yeah, how you doing? Yeah, great, yeah.
Hey,
Yep.
dude.
As soon as they walk away, who the
Pal.
fuck were that?
Yes.
That's your granddad, and you've known him years. So, Gwennifer will keep walking. And again, just you hear that mutter to herself of, I'm sure I know them. And she keeps walking on. You can see she's making her way further up the hill. Kess, Andrea, Sapphire, you've never met. You've never met Gwennifer. It was Dalefin and Griff, I believe. Mm-hmm. Kess and Andrea, you see Gwennifer again. It's definitely your choice to either recognise or not. It's been months, but there was definitely a moment where Ari and the halfling lass kind of paused, slowed down, and then sped up doing what they were doing.
When she gets like close, Sandra just kind of will stick a hand out and go, "Hey, sorry to stop you. Do you know?" And then points back towards Ari. Just you look like you were gonna say hello and then change your mind, and that's fair. He's a creep, but I just wanted to check.
Well, she turns and I mean, yeah, but and then she sees you, and she looks across at Kess, looks at Sapphire, but then back to Kess and back to you. Were you? And then looks back at Ari. Were you? Was it Ravenholm? Did I meet you a few months ago in a pub? The Sawdust and Swear Words, I think it was.
With the gnome that was... Yeah.
You are like we were there. There was a ball and stuff, and we were there.
Absolute riot. Yeah.
Yep. What a time.
What are you doing at the Irwins?
We happen to be traveling with Ruby.
You know Ruby Irwin?
Mhm.
Yeah, she's. I guess it's kind of like gestures off in kind of like the vague hillside direction.
She's that way.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the. Yeah.
Somewhere at pasture.
Dave calls across. Morning, Guinevere. Morning, David. Mr. Irwin, how are you doing? Yeah, well, I hope you're all right. It's been months since I've seen you all. Like, well, I suppose we only shared a few months conversation, not much, but yes. Was an elf? With short hair
we lost them.
And the bird.
Yeah,
you lost them. Oh, my condolences.
No. We didn't. Sorry. We didn't lose them as in they departed. I mean,
No,
they
we
did
lost
depart.
them like
they
they
just.
departed.
But they
Oh,
didn't.
they stopped
die.
travelling with you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
One of them still causes trouble from time to time, but yeah, they're both not here anymore.
Okay.
Oh, hi, I'm Sapphire.
Hello, Sapphire. I'm going for timber carry. And just kind of puts the log down and puts a hand out to you.
She's down to shake her hand.
You're big.
I wish I got paid every time someone said that to me. He says getting back to work.
I always got your little when I was travelling, so we
fair.
should set some up. Maybe make a few coin.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. Well, hi, bye for
Good
now.
See you again.
Yeah, take care. Bye, Mr. Owen. Bye, Mrs. Owen. Bye, dear. Okay. Bye, Jimmy. And Harry, you just heard Jimmy go, bye, Guinevere.
I'm kind of, as soon as she's kind of like out of like earshot, he'll kind of nudge Jimmy and be like, oh, so what's that then? What's that then?
We'll come back to that. And Guinevere kind of just picks the log back up. Well, take care if you stick around. Timber carry lot, we're only up the hill. Yeah, take care. See ya. And just kind of just potters off and carries on up the hill. Harry, when you say that to Jimmy just like flashes you a look and then settles a little bit.
Can I insight? Can I insight?
I don't think you need
So
to, Harry.
intrigued.
I don't think you need to.
Okay.
We had a bit of a thing and I had to break it off. You can insight that if you want.
Okay, yeah.
I couldn't commit. You know what I mean? We're two different people. She's an halfling. I'm pretty sure I've got a bit of dwarven in me. Do you know what I mean? And he just starts flexing, realizes he's flexing at you. And no one else is looking, and carries on making the drywall. But just pass me some more stones. And just starts taking more stones on the drywall. As you are progressing through the morning, unless any more conversation happens.
I just wanted to remove him slightly and then felt a bit bad and didn't actually move any further.
Zandria will turn to Kess once
Okay.
Guinevere is gone and just go to look at Kess and go, that was awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm glad you remembered because I don't have a fucking clue who she was.
I remember she was in the party that had the kind of spooky gnome.
Gnome that gave you the name Tsunami King? Was that her?
The name call.
The name call.
Kess looks like he is like fighting off being physically ill at that. Like the like yeah. I noticed you escaped unscathed. Goes back to like collecting
did.
chicken eggs.
I did because I don't talk to weird, creepy old gnomes.
I mean, Bit harsh on the gnomes, but
Wrong. I don't like no.
I mean, as with any group of people, some of them are creepy and old.
this is very true.
Anyway, back to picking.
3 to 1. So as the morning progresses, it will eventually reach noon. Ruby will return to drink, eat. You've got a fair amount of the wall pretty much finished. You've made your way down. It turns out that what might have first been a bit of a prank, you may have thought, Harry, or may not, your choice. It does turn out that there was a fair amount of the wall in further down, and that goes deeper into the lanes and stuff of the highland of this particular village where Ruby's from. And you do get a lot of like good mornings. How do you do? Would you like a drink? Oh, ain't you fancy? Ain't you pretty? How many times do you brush your hair? It's all very like gentle comedy rather than attacky. You get a couple of swooners of a variety of flavours of halfling catching you do your Diet Coke advert as you just, pour the water over yourself while lifting bricks and stuff. Even Jimmy just pulls his collar and goes, I'm not confused. And carries on. And you get a fair amount of work done. A few more people come and help you for like where the walls kind of become at the cross junctions and stuff, crossroads. And you're in essentially, you get quite far into this village and you can see it's not really a town square, but there is an area where they probably gather for village meetings and stuff. And yeah, you get to see a fair amount of this particular village that the halflings of Toa reside in. You hear the bell being rung at lunchtime. Many bells go off, signalling folk that are out in the fields and doing whatnot to come home for, hydration and nourishment. Back in the house at the Irwins, you're all pretty warm because regardless of how exerting the exercise is, it's still exercise. So you're pretty warm, you're ready. The juices and the waters are very refreshing from the local spring. Does not supply orange juice, but the water is very nice. And there's a dead sheep up the road. And what are you laughing at?
Thanks, appreciated
Dead
it.
sheep. Whee! I love dead sheep. Fucking weirdo. You're a weirdo. Can't believe I married you. I wonder why that sheep were at the wedding. Leave it, Sean. So so it is a wonderful morning. Ari, you are aching and quite proud of yourself. Like at no point did Jimmy seem to push it any further after sharing your moment of Walushi then. Back in the house, there is another prayer performed by Jimmy and Dave and Megan, and you also see before I get his name wrong, where's your little brother? You see Robbie tip up with his where's his staff? His ashen staff.
He's an ash.
And they perform a family prayer together. And again, it's very simplistic. In Halfling, there is a softness to it. It doesn't get very energetic or dramatic. And Ruby, you're just aware it's essentially not saying grace, but an equivalent of thanks that we get to eat. And the things you lot do here is the name of the trees said in common. So you hear rowan, you hear ash, you hear oak, and you hear birch mentioned by the four of them throughout their halfling spoken prayers. The word Drydaka is mentioned a few times. Uli! Thank you for the subscription. And you hear the word Drydaka mentioned a few times. Dun, 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 dun. After lunch, it's time. Assuming you wish it to be time. But you're on your lunch break, as it were. Jimmy is still out in the yard. Kai's running around like a lunatic, and Jimmy is throwing a just a lot of leather wrapped up into a ball and tied, and just throwing it for Kai to go and get, as Kai is also on their lunch break. You're drinking water. You've got a few small foods, nothing heavy, because there's still a lot more work to do on the farm, or at least from the Irwin's perspective. Dave is out back doing something in the stables, and Megan, Mama Irwin, is just in there, dealing with you all. So, when do you leave? I just need to know so I can pack something up for you on the road, that's all.
Honestly, we haven't even discussed it, thought that far ahead. We were just leaving it down to Ruby.
Okay.
Ruby is now immediately trying to. She's probably shown up with, if not a lamb, then like a young sheep in her arms, and she's suddenly become a lot more interested because she doesn't want to make a decision about leaving because that means she actually has to leave, and she knows it's coming. She knows she's going to leave, but she's trying to pretend that's not happening.
Okay, do you want some time to discuss? We don't have to go back to work for a little while. I can make another pot of tea and I can go and help Dave in the stables if you want a bit of time for yourselves.
I'll kind of look at Ruby, purposely avoiding the question. Know that look very well. And kind of go, that would probably be great, actually. Thank you.
And well, when the whistle goes, help yourselves. The tea leaves, and she starts pointing out where the tea leaves are and
Yeah, like
everything
I think
else.
by that point they'll probably know kind of where stuff is. So
She still feels the need.
I know.
But yes,
you know.
and off they go. And Megan will retreat to the stables with Dave. You are in the kitchen/dining area of the Irwin residence with Ruby and a sheep.
Well, so yeah, when are we planning on going? I'm definitely not going to rush you. I wish I had more time, so I understand. However, if I hadn't left the first time, maybe I could have helped at the monastery somewhat.
Sandria's just staring at Ruby.
Ruby isn't just like cuddling the sheep. Like the more you look at it, the more clearly this is one of those youngling that's managed to like wander off, get lost, get trapped in something. So she's kind of she's not ignoring you, but she doesn't have an answer. So she's concentrating on tending. Just we'll go when we need to.
We need to, but if we don't know why you left here originally, Ruby. You've never really been one to talk about it, but there's nothing that says you have to come back to Ravenholm. I know I can at least say I would understand if you wanted to stay here with your family. I know if Drea and I had the option, we wouldn't have waded back in.
Well, that's it, isn't it? There's what you want and there's what's the right thing to do. Of course I have to come with you. You'll all be dead by tomorrow lunchtime if I don't.
Not wrong.
Yeah, not wrong. But like, as someone who just lost a lot, I can say that there's no shame at all in wanting to, back out, even if it's just for a bit, and spend time with the loved ones. I get it. Like, I won't be judging you.
No one in Ravenholm will speak for those who can't speak for themselves. Present company probably.
Nah, I don't want to speak for anyone in Ravenholm. Fuck Ravenholm.
Sapphire pats Harry on the head.
I mean, I think we're all in the same boat there, to be honest. Like, at the end of the day, it's...
Is Harry doing his hair in the kettle?
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
You're literally like, oh, I don't think anyone will disagree.
Yeah.
Just in the metal of the kettle, I could tell.
No, I feel like actually he'd be making tea for Ruby, which would be kind of a weird situation, but he'd actually be like hustling around actually making tea.
Harry's
But
definitely-
also doing his hair in the
Also
like,
doing
the
it in the
kettle.
kettle, yeah, of course.
Any
yeah.
shiny surface,
Yeah,
the kettle,
You know.
the spoons.
yeah. But equally, he'd just be like, well, yeah, but I totally get if you don't want to come back with us, because yeah, the
I don't want to come back to this.
Mm.
Oh, you'd love the locks.
Sure as heck sound better than what we've got over there. But
Miserable, wet,
Purest
damn.
water you'll ever see.
not helping, Ruby. We need to go back.
yeah. I need to see what kind of
I'm with you.
political situation was
Uh,
like.
Yeah,
Much as I
that,
hate
like,
to say it.
that's the words political situation is like a proper teenage, like, face full that I'm too old to even achieve anymore because I'm a crone in my 30s. That proper, like, it's not even an eye roll, it's just like a.
I know we left quite suddenly and without telling anyone. But does it really matter at this point? We don't actually need to do any of the politicking bullshit. We have a vague idea of what we're doing, and it is mostly go and murder some people.
Oh yeah, no,
We've
got some
kind of
scores
done
to
with
settle.
politicking. Yeah.
Ruby, who missed a majority of the meeting, sort of quizzical look and sets the yearling down on, and where it before it clearly wouldn't have been able to stand. This is Ruby. This is the healthiest sheep you've ever seen. Just
certain blood mage doesn't particularly have everyone's ear.
Not at all.
Hmm.
Not
fact-
even within the political circles.
It would
Ruby
seem that
literally freezes.
if he were to take a long walk off a short battlement, everyone would be pretty okay with proceedings.
Very slowly, Ruby starts to stand up. And there is a... For the siblings, it's like the turn in the air when there's going to be a sandstorm. And for Sapphire, it's like when you look at the clouds and you know that if you don't move, this camp is going to be buried in snow before dawn. And for Ari, it's like it's the shadows in the parts of the woods you were told to never ever go into, and the colour of the berries that you were told you must never ever eat, just sort of like
Shit
seeping
face come up.
into the air around her. She just, without acknowledging any of you, very slowly stands up and starts walking towards the kitchen door.
I take it you're on board then? I like getting up and kind of following. Before you, we still need to make a decision, Ruby, on letting your mum know first, at least. And we'll kind of like grab a shoulder, just be like, I get it. I look forwards to that man's suffering beyond explanation. But I do not look forward to seeing your mother's face when she finds out that you've left without saying goodbye.
Ruby rolls her eyes. She's reached the front door, so she sticks her head out the front door, and it's It's not as loud because she knows they're nearby. It's also she doesn't need to bite her fingers for it. It's more sort of like biting her lower lip, and it's a different, more of a kind of.
The Irwin family crest call.
It's yeah. It's if you've like throughout the morning you'll have heard like the different whistles bouncing backwards and forwards, and some are for the dogs and some for each other, and it's not a full language, but it tends to mean stuff like, where are you? I'm over here. Is that you? I'm listening. Come back. Don't go there.
It's your own family cant.
Oh shit, I've seen a wolf. That kind of thing.
I mean, screaming I've seen a wolf works just as well.
I
can't whistle.
It's efficiency.
Yeah.
Whistles carry further without.
So you summoning your ma and pa?
This whistle is basically the kind of I'm leaving urgently. Like in farming, it could be because you've seen an animal that needs rescuing, or you've seen someone that you shouldn't have bet money with at the pub last night coming up the road, or. But.
The two standard farming practices.
Yeah, basically, but
So,
it's.
Are you essentially whistling and then?
Well, Ruby, it's like. Cass is going to have to make a grapple check here if he wants to keep Ruby stationary, because she's going to keep walking with his fist in her tunic. But that whistle coming from Ruby will have definitely piqued the interest of the rest of the family, if only because if she's doing that from a farming perspective, then it's because she's seen something that needs dealing with.
Okay. So as you pop your head and you whistle, give me a perception check. So you stuck your head out the door, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
And she's still trying to move. Cass is
Yeah,
basically.
that's fine.
Oh, if she is like ploughing on past, then she is getting scooped up.
I mean,
So-
kind of,
Just
but what I basically imagine happening is like
Can't go anywhere if your feet aren't on the ground.
the legs are still walking and like all the motion is happening, but there's a fist in the back of her shirt that's like stopping her from
Just holding you.
actually going anywhere.
Do you resist the grapple?
Not yet. That's an 18 on perception.
Cool. Do you resist the grapple?
Yes.
Cool. Then you can choose either athletics or dexterity as the defender. Guess you have to go athletics, which I assume as a fighter you're more than happy to do.
I mean, either of them.
I'm choosing athletics because I've just looked at my proficiencies and thrown the dice straight across the room. And again, so we're not going to use that dice because it's misbehaving. We're going to use the glittery one. And that, with my +5 to athletics, is a 19.
Guess with your plus 12 to athletics. What was your athletics check?
Yeah, that was 26. So.
So, to be fair, Ruby, like, Kess goes to grab you to stop you leaving, and then realises Kess really has to grab you to stop you leaving. So, Kess does have to put effort in to stop you, but training to your training just has the advantage over you, and essentially does manage to stop you from bolting. You still manage to get your head out, pull the whistle off, but going any further than looking outside, Kess has gently got you where he needs you. On your perception check, you hear a whistle back from Ma and Pa, which is an acknowledgement. You don't hear a whistle back from Jimmy, who you can see maybe 60 feet down the path, talking to someone much taller than him, maybe as tall as your friends around you, not quite Sapphire. They look quite large, but are covered in travelling gear. The cloak that they're wearing is very dark grey furred around the shoulders. The cloak itself hangs all the way down to the ankles. The hood is down but kind of scrunched up around. Their hair is imagine you tie-dyed blonde and black into their hair. So they probably had black hair and then tie-dyed it blonde, if that makes sense. So like tied it up in rubber bands everywhere, applied the blonde, let them out, and it's got those many streaks and colours through it. Tied in a ponytail. It's thick hair, hangs down probably just the middle of the back. They have what appears to be a large bladed sword sheathed on their back, and the hair just kind of goes over the sheath. Again, they look big but you can clearly see they're in cloak and stuff. Is it armor? Is it just natural physique? You're unsure because of the cloak, and they're kind of at a side angle. From here, what do you get? An 18. They have the similar ear shape to humans. There's nothing that would stand out for other things. They've probably of a more pale complexion that have spent somewhere sunny, as their face is tanned. It's probably about it, but they're talking to Jimmy, and they're kind of at a side angle, and Jimmy's kind of nodding and then pointing northward towards the Pride Mountains. And when I say towards the Pride, it's not like they're just next to you. He's just pointing his arms up. He's not pointing at, like normally his arm would be lower, pointing to a house or a shop or something, but he's pointing essentially skyward, where you've all seen like the Pride Mountain range miles and miles away on the horizon. And there is a nod between them both, and the large, or human, looks large because they're stood next to Jimmy, kind of just saunters off further into the village in that sort of northwardly direction, as a few feet as it is. And then Jimmy reacts and whistles back, and you can see Jimmy coming up as you are pulled back into the house. Moments later, Ma and Pa appear. I will assume Kess has let go, or you're kind of just in the middle of letting go, as Mum and Dad just literally
Depends on how fast she looks like she's moving.
Well, Ma and Pa whistled back as an acknowledgement. So, do you continue to struggle, Ruby, or do you accept that Ma and Pa are on their way to talk to you?
Ruby will stop struggling because she's not an idiot. She knows when it's going to be a wasted effort, but she's a flight risk.
Oh, like...
You all are.
It's more the, like, I think it's fair to say that Kess might have prior experience with flighty sisters who run off in a direction that is not always best for their health.
Looks just like Emrys.
No, I don't know who you're talking about.
So it's like, right.
What time was it in? Many moons ago?
Don't, just because you stopped actively looking doesn't mean that you're not just about to wait till my guard down and leg it.
So it's the to all viewing, it's a brotherly hand on the shoulder that just has a little bit of edge to the grip that says, try it, pal.
Not far off. As Ma and Pa enter the house. This is a job for Vesemir. Like, so that is gravy time. So Ma and Pa enter the house. You called, Ruby?
We're leaving. Sorry.
I thought that's what it might be, so I got up earlier and prepared. And she goes to the cupboard under the where the kettle bits are, and she pulls out 6 brown paper bag like sacks, like bundles with string drawn around them. They're quite a hefty looking packed lunch, and she puts them all on the side, and she's got extra water skins for everyone, and she sets you out the miniest of mini adventuring packs. Each one of you on the side, you've got a little toy and an apple and a little box of raisins.
Little juice box.
Yeah, there's a little juice box. Those plastic juices that no one uses a straw. They turn them upside down, bite them, and drink them. What's that about? But yeah, then you put it on your bike and makes it sound like a motorbike as you drive off. Anyway, I'm having a flashback, right?
That was visceral.
So, and she goes and she sorts them out. And there's a little coloured piece of ribbon for each one of you. There's blue for Harry, there's white for Sapphire, there's green for Castrion, there's gold for Ruby, and there's just a red and orange braided ribbon for Xandria. Well, I've been preparing most of the morning, and I think I'm ready to let you go now. Dave's just kind of patting her on the back, gives her a hug. Right now, or have you got time? Says Dave. Where are you going?
Ravenholm.
Ravenholm.
Again, this is Ruby is still
Jimmy enters
giving
the
off
house.
like if Ruby had were a snake, the tail would still be rattling. There is still danger vibes coming off Ruby as she's giving like one-word answers. She is in place only because Kess is bigger than her.
Jimmy's in the doorway. Ravenholm? And you just left Ravenholm?
Ish. What we're going to do is assess what we're going to do when we get to Ravenholm.
What you?
Find out
Ruby.
what this person is.
What person? Are you looking for someone?
Person's a stretch.
But running in without any idea of what we're doing.
Oh, I know what I'm gonna do.
Oh, she's worse than me right
Jimmy is
I love it.
very aware of his sister's tone and look right now. And you see a change in Jimmy. And it is one similar to Ruby's. And he's mimicking her body language, and you can see that there is a chest out, shoulders back moment on this large halfling. And he just takes his Orcan's club off and just holds it.
I've got to do it shaped if anyone knows what they are, like an actual shillelagh. If his isn't a crook.
His isn't a crook. His is an actual shillelagh.
It's an actual shillelagh.
Yeah.
Am I coming with you, sis? If there's clobbering to be done. I can bring old Orky with me.
Believe it would be wise, and I think we need a plan, Ruby. Outside of gut reaction. If I've had to wait, you'll need to wait. And it's not like Kess to turn that level of no, you will buckle up and
Not
sit
fuck
down
this up.
on the party. Like it's like energy that's usually more directed towards intimidation in battle against their foes, but suddenly you're like, oh yeah, no, this is the person that carves folk up when necessary. And happy to roll any sort of intimidation check that the DM may require if he believes so is
Ruby
necessary.
is not, in fact, going against your word. She doesn't look happy, but she's not started throwing punches yet.
I think the first thing we should do is we should get back to the Copper Forest, because that's going to be the easiest place for us to travel back to first, and then we will go from there. How about that?
We need to work out who we can trust to give us the location of this piece of shit.
That too, but that can be dealt with when we get back to the Copper Forest.
Won't he still be at the palace?
Probably not. He's probably moved on. We
Usually
could.
with these kind of meetings, there'll be a very brief period for the meeting, and then everyone will kind of split up and go.
It's
back
been,
to
it's
where
been,
they
yeah, I'm
were
gonna say it's been days since the Toby Rabbit.
We could ask Toodles if we could use her magic cauldron.
Hang on, I just need to look up a spell.
Fireball, what?
I didn't know Drew's got that.
The fire's
It's
a Ruby
nature.
thing. Megan will, whilst Ruby is meditating in her druidic ways, you don't have to leave without a plan and then plan. You can plan and then leave. You're perfectly safe here. It seems where you're going is very dangerous, and if you make your plan whilst in danger, you might not make the right plan. And
The look that Megan gets from Kess is like, oh, thank God someone else here has no bloody sense.
So I can't actually cast locate well, I can cast it, but it won't work unless they're within 1,000 feet.
Yeah,
Of me.
you are
So,
just
Feel like-
outside 1,000 feet by several thousand miles.
Slightly. How about
What's the
we just-
magic cauldron do? Says Jimmy.
None of your business. How about we just sit down, we have a cup of tea, and as Mrs. Owen says, just think about it.
Well, Dave, you and the lad sort out the farm. I'll sort out refreshments for this lot. Starts rolling the sleeves up. Looks like we've got a plan to make, doesn't it? As a family, go let Pearl know that Ruby's going and anything she can offer help for Ruby and this lot. We look after us all. We're here for you. We'll throw in advice. We're well-known strategists, us Erwins. Dave and Jimmy look at each other like they've never heard that word before in their life.
Yeah.
And
Jimmy's version of strategy is
He's shown you it.
you have to know where you're just running in because it looks bad if you have to run out again straight
yeah,
away.
yeah. So Jimmy reluctantly, like, grip tightens on the staff. He looks across to Ruby for acknowledgement. Doesn't wait for it. Goes back out into the yard, taking the shillelagh with him, and Papa Owen leaves with Jimmy. And they, again, your lunch break comes to an end-ish. They go back about the farmyard stuff. Mama Irwin is now, like, backwards and forwards from out back and stuff. And she brings out a very, very old, scrappy map of Colossus. Or at least something that has this side of the world been put together. You can see, like, the Towan Highlands. You can see a patch that says Heroes Rome and another patch that says Ravenholm and the Pride Mountains and, like, masses of land here and there. And there's chunks of it missing off, and she puts it on the table. She's weighing it down with the salt and pepper pots and just an empty mug. And it honestly looks like Jimmy made it, to be fair.
Great.
So some of the the letters on it are very phonetic. We'll go with that. But
you
yes.
think Ruby can't read them, right? Jimmy can't read them, right?
Oh, you don't know what Jimmy's been doing these last few months.
That's true.
So
Zandria will look at Ruby and then point at the chair at the table with the map. Sit.
The only time that Xandria is ever going to get this from anything resembling human, but the look you get back is just enough to make you think,
My intimidation is higher than yours. Fuck you, small
no,
human.
it's just
She's not
again,
human.
that reminder
That's true.
that
Be not afraid. Brings
That-
to mind.
if you went toe to toe with Ruby, that fight could go either way. Just enough of a. But she
You'd have
does.
taken a human, but you might not take a celestial.
I don't know. I'll take my chances.
Like I say, you could take your chances if Ruby take, like, if it came to it, is just that reminder that if any one of it, like with Kess bringing the intimidation, any one of us going toe to toe against any one of the others one on one, that could go either way. even the wee cinnamon roll.
Take a
The-
seat, we'll plan.
But Ruby she has sat, and because she can't sit still, she slams 3 acorns down on the table in front of her, takes a small knife, cuts a short, well, not a short because her hair's quite long, but a very small lock of hair, and muttering almost viciously under her breath in Druidic, starts braiding little bits of the hair. You might hear the words oak, Okarian,
Okay.
but
Give me a religion
again,
check.
none of you speak Druidic, so what, me?
Yep.
I don't even care if he's listening. Ruby's just mad.
I love how players think they have a choice. You have no freedom.
It's a 12.
Cool. So as you begin doing that, Mama Bear brings out the map, starts laying it out. It's put out there. You lot can read it, and it has been done with a person that is not great in letters. and Ruby starts doing that. Before we go any further, we find out what happens on the map and you do more planning. We are going to have a quick break because that is busting. So, we're going to go have a little break, grab a drink and stuff. Probably not in that order. But yes, so, before we go, GothDruid_666. Alright, so what we'll do is, you got Sean playing Sapphire, the lion, white lion, who is a level 7 monk, level 3 barbarian. Yep. We got Luke playing Kesfion, a Kesfion Summer Breeze, a Kelpie Fair from the deserts, a battle master and a sorcerer. We've got Jeannie.
Nope.
You are?
No, I'm not.
You're not a battle master and a sorcerer?
Nope.
What's your fighter class?
Go fish. No, he's a monster hunter.
Is he?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's only been battle
It's just
master
said
for
battle
60
master for
sessions.
6 sessions.
Jesus.
It's not. It's for goodness sake. Just like I wasn't a sorcerer for.
The
longest
sorcerer
time.
thing was just a thing I forgot to put on the thing, but I've had you
It
down
is
as battle
literally
master since we
said
started.
battle master, yeah.
No, I've
If we're picking it
Anyway,
classes,
why?
I'm a druid of the Circle of Shepherds, not a Circle of the Moon.
Ah, well, that's only just changed. So, you've got
No,
Ruby.
I've been shepherd since.
No,
Oh.
the moon bit. I only added the moon bit today.
Oh, okay.
Or yesterday, even. Yeah, so I'll start again. You got Sapphire playing a D&D class. You got Luke playing a D&D class. You got Luke playing Sapphire, who's played by Sean. Right. So we got Sean playing Sapphire, a monk barbarian, and he's a Leonel. You've got Luke, who is playing Kesfion, who is... It's alright, I wrote it wrong anyway, so don't worry about it. Who was playing a monster hunter sorcerer. You've got Jeannie playing Ruby, a shepherd druid, and a cleric. You've got Mel playing Ari, a swashbuckler. Please tell me you're a swashbuckler. A swashbuckler
We're
bard.
playing it wrong if you're not.
And you've got Jade playing Xandria, a hexblade paladin. So yes, I hope that was clearer than the first 3 attempts. I might need to change all that for next week. Right, so we are going to have a quick break. And yeah, we'll be back in about 10 minutes, so please stick around, etc. We'll be... Yeah, you can never tell with Harry. We'll be back very shortly. All right, break time. Where's this break? Break time. Player cams. Here comes the animation. With our microphones on so they can all hear us.
Possibly go wrong with champagne.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Hola.
Yay! We're back. Go. Just before the break, they're still at Ruby Owen's house and the lovely family, and they've done a bit of farm yarding this morning. Harry built a wall or two. They may have met, noticed somebody from back in the day. They half recognised Harry. It was very, very dramatic and Shakespearean. But yeah, you were all in the house of Ruby.
Socially awkward.
It was amazing. I loved it. And you have a map in front of you that is essentially of Heroes Rome, Ravenholm, the Towan Highlands. There's a sandy bit drawn on the bottom of it that just says sand. And you see the Pride Mountains that just says MT. But you are aware-ish that they're the Pride Mountains. But you have a very, very rough map. Megan has no idea if this will be useful. She's just trying to plan with her daughter and her daughter's acquired family. So, and she kind of pulls a chair up and she turns the chair the other way around so she's sat like on the back, and she puts her arms on it, sleeves are still rolled up, she's tied her hair up, and she's got a wooden spoon put through it to hold it in place. She's like, so,
I love that.
what we doing, Rubes? What we doing? As a
Ruby's
cow moves.
eyes flick up, but the stream of druidic, which coming from Ruby kind of sounds like the chittering of like an annoyed squirrel. Like, it's impossible for Ruby to be in any way intimidating, but it's that kind of
I'll
like,
give it a go.
like angry, like I am half the size of you, but I will. And I don't understand why you think I'm cute when I'm angry. But
There's two mice in corner with a roll up. She's fucking mental.
oh, mice are cockneys now. Shit.
That's all you're getting. Like
Flavour in Towan Highlands.
I'm trying to make them, you know, be different across the world.
Sapphire, do you have some parchment?
Yeah, I can. He like rifles in his belt pouch, pulls out his notebook, flicks through to the back, and tears some paper out of
See
it.
Megan's eyes light up. Ooh, fancy. Looking at a tea bag of a map.
Hands it over to Christian. I don't think I've been called fancy in my life. Thank you.
Not you, dear. The paper.
Shit. Sorry. Apologies.
No.
apologies.
What? It's fine. It's fine. And she gives you a little scritch behind the ear. You have to stand it on the table to reach it.
And a writing implement?
Hands over a pencil as well.
You got any parchment? Yeah.
Here's paper.
Knock yourself out.
Busy. Someone's giving me attention now. Hands you a pencil. Quite happily.
So we know we need to get back to Ravenholm, and he kind of like scrolls down sort of Ravenholm at the top, and then we know we need to go about locating this individual, and locate. Like, is it daft enough to be like, go to Ravenholm, find
Bullet
Mr.
point.
Corbin, doop-a-doop-boop-a-boop-a-boop. And that's kind of where we're drawing up a blank. Who?
How are we getting there? Says Mama Irwin. Sorry.
Magic.
How are you getting there?
Magic.
Not a good enough answer.
Points to Ruby.
Ruby, you can do magic? I thought you were just good with the animals. Are you still...
Ruby.
She's in one of her trances. You need to ignore her for a little moment. She used to do this a lot
No,
when she was a kid.
Ruby just holds up the left forearm, which is covered in the copper, the mark of autumn.
Hard work, I understand. Who's next? What are you doing when you get there, when you've used the magic? Who's your friend on the other side? Who's going to give you the sandwiches that you're going to need to eat before you go into this fight with this person? Do you need more sandwiches? Do I need to use magic to send you more sandwiches? I'll make more sandwiches. And she jumps off and goes to the bread and meats on the side.
Oh, sandwiches to go sounds great. That'd be great.
Well, you're not fighting in my kitchen.
No, but I mean, like, we can take them with us. We don't need to. Like, Sapphire looks like confused. This is not
So
what Sapphire's life was
Food
like.
fixes everything.
So
This
we're
is Toa.
thinking, like, trying to regroup.
Raven.
What the
home.
Ravens? Raven home, circles it,
Yep.
locate, underlines it.
Yeah.
We're thinking possibly Toodles and the Cauldron might be a shout for...
It might be worth a try,
I
yes.
to
think
see
that's
if we
worth
can
a
locate.
good attempt for sure, because otherwise we're gonna struggle because we were in the city before and we won't be in the city anymore. We'll disband
I
several days
don't
ago.
want to be going to the House of Tor if we can avoid it.
No.
Which one was the House of Tor?
No, that's fair.
Like, character or
For
out
a
of
second, we'll
character?
try and look at the
Look
map.
at the map and be
realise
like-
it's like
Ari will actually look at the map and kind of vaguely kind of see where like the big landmarks might be of Ravenholm, and we'll try and like point out maybe
it's
on the map.
less the finding it on the map and more the does the map have it there for it
Yes.
to be found?
The map is just a shape of Ravenholm.
Fantastic.
The only real landmark on it is a scratch or scuff of white, which you can assume is the ivory wall separating Ravenholm and
Okay,
Heroes Road.
but if it's kind of the
But
right shape, like
it's-
I feel
it's-
like he just studied enough.
Oh,
to go,
you're
"It's in
Harry,
this
you're fully
area."
aware. You're fully aware. You can easily point to the far western coast and say it's around here, but there's no detail on it. You just know it exactly like you said.
Was the
It's
House
more-
of Tor the first place we
Yes,
went to?
on the far
Was
west
that
coast.
Ebbendorf?
Ebbendorf was the capital city of that province.
Why do I remember that bullshit name?
One,
Because it's
it's a
perfectly-
fucking great name, and two, we don't know.
We were also there for quite a while.
And you ran.
Sounds-
That's where you ran up through the town, and we're like, "I'm going this way."
In terms of which house, it's the one with all the minotaurs and stuff, I think.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's Tor.
The
If
Rhinotaurs,
just
try-
Minotaurs, Hippotors. You're gonna love it, Sapphire.
If we couldn't get an answer from Toodles and the Cauldron, the only person I vaguely put any trust in right now is Lord What's-His-Face from the City of Ravens.
The one whose name you got right for 67 sessions, and now you can't remember it.
Yep. 2 weeks off, ruined it.
One with
Sorry.
the platinum credit card.
I was going to suggest possibly Garina.
Garina also works.
Do you know who she is, Sandria? Cool.
Garina.
Let's move on.
No.
She was going to the wall to assist them with the
The
implementing
smashing
of
the
replacement
souls in
souls.
the wall.
Yeah. But she was the first person to inform me that they were looking to get rid of.
Mm. So yes, actually, Garina might be better than Lords.
Karina has somewhat of a tie to us as well.
True.
More than Lord Ronald.
That's his name, Romare. I definitely did not forget his name.
Lord credit cards, Andrea.
Yep.
Oh yes.
It's pretty much all he's going to be remembered for. Anyway,
He's a good person.
he's a
somewhat
decent.
misguided.
He is a decent human being. I tolerate his presence. Let's move on. So,
Ideally, though, if we can skip involving those that we don't strictly need to, more plausible deniability.
everyone.
Yeah, because from what they know, we left the city and haven't seen them in at least a few days, if not slightly longer. Therefore, we are very much not where they are, and we haven't been asking after them deliberately to them turning up, being somewhat deceased a few days later. Potentially.
Just did anything about killing him.
He doesn't get to live.
Eventually, he doesn't get to live after we've.
Trust me, I would love to make this individual suffer.
We can make him suffer, at least for, you know, a little bit.
He is a wizard.
Hmm.
I am not going to risk him getting away.
That is fair. Speaking of wizards, and then looks at Ari. Your brother,
Let's-
your brother.
Deal with one asshole at a time.
But, and I'm just saying this, what happens if we do run into the other wizard before we run into the wizard that we are trying to encounter? Because I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it will literally just be our luck that we run into that one before we run into the one we're actually tracking.
I wouldn't be surprised if we ran into the both of them at the same time.
Don't say that. I cannot deal with two of them.
Please no. We're going to struggle enough with evil Stefan as is.
Wizards that can't leave well enough alone seems to be a bit of a national trait.
Yeah, they fuck up the entire world, and now we've got to sort their shit out.
Also, you know, the whole demons. Fiends.
I mean, yeah, on a selfish level, I'd also like Stefan taken down because then, you know, demons don't then attack Draconia, so...
Also, then my brother can actually come back to the world rather than living in the realm of echoes.
Sapphire looks around suddenly and goes, I totally didn't forget that that's the case. That's fantastic. Multiple birds with one heavily thrown stone. I like it.
I mean, I get your point. Still.
But I think if we can remove one first, that'll hopefully stop them joining forces.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, if any two individuals would work together, then they're just experimental enough in their interests.
Oh, if you... Yeah. I mean, from the last we heard, he was going up towards...
He's on the north coast.
sighted, just off the north coast. So...
That's one teleportation circle jump away from being anywhere in Ravenholm.
Yeah. I'm aware.
But
Yeah,
more-
this was-
But yeah, I definitely think the cauldron is a good first step. Plus, you know, it's been a really long time since we saw Toodles last.
Hours.
A whole 24.
Sapphire laughs at his own joke. Because no one else seems
It
to
would
be.
mean that we would get, from what I understand, from what I remember last time when she used it, we'd get an immediate reflection of where that person is right now.
Yep.
And so that will be of more use to us than trying to follow the breadcrumbs, I think.
And I trust Toodles more than I trust anyone else on that landmass.
Yeah.
On Xandria's point, though, the quicker we can get rid of a blood wizard and not possibly give him fuel to fight back, we want to remove him quickly.
Yeah. You have to. We need to because of the demons. The demons are becoming stronger.
Fuck the demons, Ari. I'm not chasing this little bastard across everywhere. Demons we'll get to. This guy, though,
That's what I'm saying.
we're gonna hit him once and
Yeah.
we won't get a second chance.
Yeah, he's obviously made something's making the demons stronger, and I don't think that what he's doing is helping. Let's put it that way. So, if we can get to him, then that's what we're doing. Yeah, kind of. It'll kind of like still be like pointing stuff out on the map as well to try and basically Basically, make Mama Irwin feel like her map was very useful.
Mama Irwin is very
Sandwich
distracted
time.
right now.
There are towers of sandwiches.
As Ari's been pointing things out, Keth has been like subtly like updating parts of the map on it as well. So he's like, "This is Ebendorf. This is Lyric up here."
Yeah.
Like correcting the shape of Sarut a little bit.
Rubbing a bit off.
Get rid of the word sand and writing Sarut.
Mama Irwin's like, that's not how you spell sand, dear.
No, it's a whole ass continent down there with a name and everything.
Don't believe you.
Well, I'm from there, so.
She's forgotten you already.
How's Ruby looking now? Is she?
Ruby is completely concentrating for one reason and one reason only. Because she has a voice. As she's banging away on her acorns and such.
Oh yeah, at some point when you've mentioned Corbin, one of the acorns just got stabbed, just with something just run through so she could thread the braided hair through it before starting.
I more envisaged it getting flicked out the window, hitting a passing sparrow, and the sparrow just like, will you keep it down, girl? All I can hear is you calling all the time. What is wrong? And you can hear the voice of a Karen in a very strained, frustrated sort of way.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be a bother. You answered when I needed help, and I don't know what to do. And my brothers will need help looking after this place when I am not here. And I know what to do, but finding him and turning him into a tree is... Part of me is saying it is just the worst possible idea, but the rest of me is saying it is all he deserves, to spend the rest of a long life doing nothing but good for the types of creatures he tried to destroy.
Why are you turning your brother into a tree?
He'd make a good tree, but no.
Relax,
Blood
Ruby.
mage.
Breathe. It's quieter when you breathe. Well, I see old Smiley's still hanging around. And for some reason you just glance at Zandria.
Not letting her go again.
Good. So I don't want to have to be in touch with my feelings more than once in my lifetime. Now who are you talking about? Relax and speak. Don't shout. I can hear your soul for miles.
The blood nature.
The bastard with the pillars.
Sorry?
The bastard with the pillars. The spikes in the ground.
Him. Looks like a half-plucked crow.
All wizards look like a crow. How are you calling me here, Ruby?
So did you say who or why?
How?
I'm
trying to be a tree myself. I just keep popping in and seeing you. It's not a bad thing. But, trying to retire here, Ruby. But I will help if you ask.
If you want to be left, I will leave you, but
I don't want to be left. Just retired. Last time I ventured with your lot, I ended up in a meeting.
nobody likes meetings.
Nah, it was quite a funny meeting. Diplomatic, I think they called it. Led to a war, so probably shouldn't be involved in too many meetings.
Maybe, nor should I.
They're boring. Why do you want to be involved in them? It's for old people.
I don't know how. The creature, whatever the creature was, it was stripping away my mind, and I turned and I asked for help, and you were there.
I think, and you look around, because there's no sight of a carrion. I think I'll be there again.
Thank you.
So what am I here for now? If I ain't giving you an element. What do you need help with, Ruby? You ain't casting magic.
Will you help my brothers watch over this place? And what do you want done to him? He hurt you, what he did hurt you and yours more than anyone.
Slow down. Slow down. I'll help your brother. Well, I'll help James. Robert could take care of himself.
You'd like him, he's a lot like her.
We'll see. And as for what I want doing, I don't care, Ruby. I'm retired. Autumn falls, girl. Winter bites, summer burns. Spring's pretty good. I quite like spring. Aye, it was shit. And he should probably be put on a tree, nailed to it multiple times. Give him the red caps, they'll have a play. You're gonna meet more bastards than him in your life. But when it comes to it, whatever you decide to do, I'll give you a bit of backing when you launch a spell or two at him. You got a stick for a reason. Keep an eye on your flock. Hit those that want to bring harm to it.
Oh, I try to keep him alive.
Well, they're not good at doing it themselves.
No.
I can't stay much longer, girl. Not unless you're casting magics.
Sorry to have disturbed your rest.
Nah. It's just, I'm not used to retirement, and I sought it for so long that I got a bit comfortable already. I like what you've done with the place, though. The copper with the green and the browns. It's nice. It's nice.
Thank you. I tried my best.
Just breathe and take it slow. Let this lot do it fast. You keep an eye on them. If you rush in, who's watching them? They're sheep. Keep the wolves away, yeah?
Well,
Right, I'm knackered. Tell Toodles I said hello.
I will. Sleep well.
And you just hear the presence of a carrion leave you. And the rush of noise as Harry's going, Ebendorf's over here. And Kess is scratching on the parchment about syrup and scribbling out Sandy and putting syrup. Not that you know, just looks like Kess is doing as much scribbling as is already on the map.
Ruby will take one of the 3 braids that now has an acorn threaded onto it, and loop it around her own neck, pull the others into her pocket. But the muttering stops.
Cool.
She scoops the lamb up to sit. The lamb that has just been
Just been
chilling
sat there
in
like,
the
what
kitchen
the
whole time.
fuck are you lot on about with a rolly? That one of the mice gave it. Meh.
As she looks both slightly out of place, given that she is so much too large for all the furniture, and also in the tartan with the sheep in her lap, sat at this table like this could be her kingdom. This is it's hard to imagine the room without her in it. But she doesn't butt into the conversation.
And you lot carry on your conversation.
Yep, still kind of debating exactly where that bit's over there and this bit's over here, and that's
some point.
that's the copper forest there.
I could just imagine like Ari and Cass at some point just like fighting over the pencil going, no, I'll do Ravenholm, you do Saru.
Yeah. So, as you are conversing and you've clearly made a plan, go see Toodles, etc., etc., how do you want to do this?
How would you care to
dispatch this
plan?
plot arc? So, are you chilling for the rest of the day? Are you wanting more time R&R? Are you wanting to immediately open a tree portal right now? Are you sailing? Are you flying? Are you walking across Heroes Rome? What's
that can get
I am
right
just
into the bin.
yeah. Heroes Rome's a lovely place.
It's lovely stroll.
You'll be level 20
I'll-
before you get to the
Some trees.
Having done some maps for it.
Don't know what you're talking about. Some trees.
Yeah,
some
Ruby's
grass
immune
planks,
to Heroes Rome, so.
Some nice
So-
So you'll
flowers.
kind of like look at
Get
Ruby
a piggyback
now
across
she's
it then.
stopped muttering and just be kind of like, so are we going?
Do you want to hear the plan so far?
Does it amount to more than find him? Is the rest
Find
just
him and
details?
kill him quick.
There are a few extra steps, but
We're going to speak to Toodles. Ask her if she'll let us use the cauldron. It'll give us a better idea of where he is at the exact moment. He's a blood mage. We don't want to draw out the fight and give him more ammunition against us, so remove him as quickly as we can and let him fade from history, ideally. I doubt anything would annoy him more.
Small, almost malicious little smirk.
I don't think anything would upset him more than a quick, anonymous death.
Maybe one thing.
So if you're going to go off reservation with it, then let us know, okay? Just so we can support.
Tree.
Would that take? That be a thing you can do?
It would be strong magics.
I will make it happen.
His continued being does concern me,
Me too.
though it does have a nice ring to it. We
I will not stoop to his level and become a murderer. If you want to chop the tree down when my back is turned, I'm not your mother.
She's taller. I suppose it's easier to chop down something that's not moving.
very true.
But I would prefer he live a long life unable to do anything than help the creatures he tried to destroy.
Part of me feels like if we left him too long as a tree, he'd just find a way to seep his bloody dark magic through the roots into the ground.
Exactly what I was thinking. Like
Trees
the
live a long
blood-
time.
Long
blood
time.
magic that he wrought was not planned overnight. It was a long campaign to get that to that point.
You've an axe. She looks at Sandra, she glances at Cass. You've a tinderbox. I won't spill blood because he did.
Trees don't bleed. Not
Sap.
the same anyway. Oi! Peanut gallery.
I mean, does Ruby get a little?
There's no
He said
coconut.
what? Like in front of you.
No, because Oak's sleeping.
Trying to.
I mean, you are right. I do have an axe, and I don't know. I think the deity or whatever the hell I have been born back into is something to do with cutting trees. I don't know. Maybe I could cut him down once he's a tree. I'd find satisfaction in that.
Sounds like
Maybe
we've
you
got a
get to him
plan.
before I do and kill him, but
Oh, no. You can turn him into a tree. I'll then just chop him down and into multiple pieces. Maybe set something on fire. Make nice kindling.
wouldn't use it in any ritual fires.
Oh, no. I don't really do ritual fires. Anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. I just meant for keeping warm in the horrid lands that is really home.
So
when
we
are
got
we
a
going?
plan?
Yeah, it sounds like a plan to me.
Do you want to get your mum to stop making sandwiches and we'll say our
Ruby
goodbyes?
gives Cass a look like, you
Yeah.
think I have that power? Alright, I will
I can
find
turn
the
a
power
wizard into
from
a tree,
somewhere
but I
to turn a wizard into a tree. Alright, you have seen me heal people, blight people, you know, drag a forest from saplings to full-grown trees. But if you think I can stop that woman from making sandwiches, you are sorely mistaken.
It is the mightiest of
I've tried.
magics.
But you can blight
Jimmy will eat
people.
them all anyway.
You can't blight people. You could blight your mother.
But you can. I know that you don't want to shed blood, and it's not in your nature to hamper something's growth, but a tree with blight will come down an awful lot quicker than one which is strong.
It's possible that his soul is so withered and blighted that any tree he turned into would be unhealthy anyway.
Doesn't mean we can't help it.
Go a little faster.
All things die, Ruby. We're just helping it go a little bit quicker.
Perhaps you should get your friend.
Put the pillow over the face. Sleepy time.
She shoots Casa sort of like a slightly sly grin and says, perhaps your friend from Winter would help freeze. Ah, no, sorry. I'm completely off the planet again.
Friend from Winter? Yes? Friend from Winter?
Yeah, where Ruby was going with that was that Winter's breath and Kess, who seem to be getting on quite well, you know, frost tends to kill plants and trees quite easily. Maybe he would help as a personal favour to Kess because they seem to get on quite well.
You talked about killing my sister.
That were a journey, Ruby.
What did you think the conversation was about, Ruby?
God, hang on. What?
Adam, Ruby wasn't even there, was she? Ruby wasn't even there, I'm sorry.
It's fine. But
I
Sandra's reaction is brilliant. Let's just for that reaction, Ruby was there. It's fine.
Okay, I completely phased
Yeah,
out
the-
there for a moment.
Ruby
Sorry.
was
You know-
definitely aware of the people there. Was definitely aware that Kesfion and the First Breath held a conversation. It was when you started to interact further that you were, well, they were stuck up old people and you left. So you are aware stuff happened. You're not aware of any details, but you're aware of who was there, who talked to who, on at least, you know, for a passing moment, but what was said you don't have the details of. So it's more than capable for Ruby to assume that a frosty fae working with a watery fae could freeze someone. You were just unaware of the death threats.
Sorry, somebody threatened to kill me, and you didn't think to tell me.
To be fair, Xandria,
Everyone
people do that
threatens
so
to kill
often.
you, Tria.
That's true.
Also, he didn't threaten to kill you. He just insinuated that you were a person of interest.
Hey, what now? Was fucking brilliant.
I don't want to be a person of interest to no winter fate.
They're the end of things. They're the
Yeah,
death
so
that comes.
naturally he hates me because I am fun and inviting and light.
And have already escaped death once and are constantly moments from choking on your own blood. Yes, Drea.
I didn't invite him.
But apparently, we were playing backgammon. So
It looked
Just
like he
again,
liked
just
you.
hold fire a second. Hold fire. He has a problem with me, but he doesn't have a problem with you. You're also a summer breeze.
tangentially by
Made of
comparison.
summer, is he?
Still my brother. Still in summer. Just because
Yes.
he's got a fancy other thing going on doesn't stop him being a summer breeze. Doesn't stop him being part of summer.
This is not pertinent.
I
He
don't
says
care.
mostly to like the left top corner of the kitchen. Like
I love how Kester has a look at his notes, looks at the top left. None of this is on here.
This isn't what we were doing.
I know this isn't what we were doing, but I thought it was quite important to, hear somebody else is trying to kill me. It's already bad enough that
They're
got
not
Harry trying
trying
to
to-
kill me.
Drea, they're not trying to kill you. They're just aware of you.
That doesn't make this.
You're Drea. You are Malika's
Oh God knows.
Hexblade.
Cupcake.
See, it's not fun when it happens to you, is it?
Says Megan. Yeah.
The rafters start talking to you. You're Malika's.
Yeah, I get
chosen,
it.
Malika's, and you're escaping what they see as the rightful order of things. It's of course you've factored in. You'd be upset if you hadn't.
No, that's true. Actually, you're right. I would be rather upset. Interesting to note, though, that winter are looking in this direction. Just in
Only
case-
when you stand in front of them.
Well, I didn't intend in standing in front of winter the last time. They just happened to be there.
Regardless, I don't believe we'll be making pacts with the first breath to assist in the killing of a tree when we have a druid that is capable of casting blight, a woodcutter of some description, as much as she does not like it, sister, I know, and the rest of us, I think between us we can probably bring down a big
Stab
tree.
him. We'll just stab him. Like, never mind all this turning him into a tree. We'll just stab him.
Ari,
Yeah, I don't get why
We've
we were going
talked
on
her
some this weird.
I'm taking-
you
Murder
think
is
you
murder.
can stop? You think you can stop Ruby from turning this man into a tree?
Stab the tree.
I mean, by all means, let's just go kill him. Whether that's as a
Stab
tree
him
or
up
as a
first,
person.
So it's easier to turn into a tree. It's fine.
Okay, we have an idea. We have a basic plan of what we're going to do, and I am happy in the knowledge of knowing that I only have to worry about one person potentially killing me.
Okay, I'm sure we'll meet others along the way, Xandria. Don't be disheartened.
Sandra's just assigned herself an assassin. They're everywhere.
Ari.
I told
It's
you.
Ari. It's Ari.
That is
Don't
fair.
need to listen to
It's gravy time. Thank you for the follow. There are so many jam sandwiches on the counters around you that they're in the rafters. You're pretty sure they were the ones heckling you. There's jam sandwiches down the corridor. She's run out, like Megan's run out of meat and cheeses and stuff. She's on the jam and the marmalade.
I feel like Harry's probably like helping collect them into the bag of holding.
Mrs. Irwin, Mrs. Excuse me.
Yes, dear. All of that was a lot. Thank you for asking me to leave while you spoke of turning people into trees and blighting them and removing them from life, and it was very nice to witness a side of my daughter I didn't know existed, but there are plenty of sandwiches for you all. It's all just a
Ruby
bit...
looks around and says, well, this lot'll do Jimmy's lunch.
That breaks you, Mum, as she looks around and goes, I'm not sure it will. And she walks over to Ruby, around you, Kess. Just holds your hands. Sheep and wolves, dear. Sheep and wolves. She just gives you a little pat on the cheek. Gets on her tiptoes, kisses you on the forehead. Now.
Ruby responds, for those who can't speak for themselves, like, leans down to kiss her mum on the forehead.
She gives you another pat on the cheek, and there's a beaming smile of pride across her face. Now, get your sheep ready. You've got a long journey to go. And from the sounds of it, there's no fences around your fields, so keep an eye.
Always.
And where are those sandwiches going? Looks across to Harry just shoveling sandwiches into the bag of holding. Taking platinum and Vorpal longswords out and putting jam sandwiches in there.
Xandria just leans
I
close
was gonna
to...
write that in the bag of holding.
Xandria leans close to Ari whilst he's like shoveling sandwiches in and just goes, I don't even like jam and marmalade.
You can eat the meat and cheese, says the bag.
Yeah.
Says the bag.
The bag
Look,
sent you.
it's not my fault Xandria's got speak to Sakamajik, is it?
Don't bring the blooming Sakamajik back here. No.
We've already had Bucky. We've already had a very
Ruby-
early session.
And
Ruby looks at
somewhere in
Ari and
Colossus
says-
is Serenity.
Ruby looks at Ari and says, you know that won't stop him going off, right? If you forget there are some in there.
Oh yeah, they'll go mouldy. Yeah.
I mean, so, well,
Awesome.
whatever.
I'm not brilling them out.
Um,
Time to make our leave, I think. Thank you for your hospitality.
no worries. Take care. Don't die.
We'll do our best.
I feel for you to be wolves yourselves when it comes to it.
Thank you.
Now, get out before I start crying again.
Oh, can I have my clothes back,
Oh yeah, you're
No.
not.
please?
Okay, you can have your clothes back.
Thank you.
Yeah,
They're
Kiss
in-
the scary side to where that slip be like drying on.
I don't think Kess could handle fighting in those clothes. Not that they're not lovely, Mrs. Owen, but they're not what we're used to fighting in.
It was more just it's got all the embroidery that like their mum taught them and stuff on it there.
Well, yeah.
And it's got the raincoat for going back to.
The raincoat.
and all his rations and weapons and armour.
Excellent.
So as you all pack up,
So,
check your
well,
things.
the thing of a rain, Ruby goes, well, do we want anything from town? Does anyone else want a better rain cloak?
I have still got mine, so I am good, thank you.
New clothes, trips to barbers, going once.
Okay.
The shock on your mum's face of you offering a trip to the barbers is priceless.
Oh.
Like, she's about to exercise you. Like,
I mean, she's looking.
bring the
Ruby's
vicar.
looking at Ari when she says that, thinking that's the kind of fancy shit that Ari would probably
No,
do.
I feel like
Cut
Ari
his
would
hair.
have like come back, you know, and actually like been doing like he's already done his hair again. He's like cleaned up. He's ready to go. He's ready. He's
You're
like-
feeling the
Oh.
pump. Harry's feeling the pump.
Yeah, he feels like he's actually increased his strength today.
Calm yourself. Put it up one. So throughout the next, say, half an hour, 40 minutes, you begin to pack your things, check your rucksacks, check your weapons, make sure you've got all your little, your daggers, your rations, whatever it is. You make sure you've got everything on your character sheet with you. And the jam sandwiches in the bag of holding. I have never,
With them as well.
in decades of making up shit with dice, had anyone put jam sandwiches in a magic bag.
Yep.
So, Papa Bear's back. Jimmy's back. He is over the moon because there is still a fuck ton of sandwiches. It is into the afternoon. He doesn't normally get an afternoon break. He doesn't need breaks. He's Big Jimmy. But he sees the sandwiches and he is very Puss in Boot eyes to his mum, and she lets him have a rest so he can eat more sandwiches. He cares not they're filling. He starts at one end and starts making his way through them. Dave is in there. Megan catches him up, and it gets to the point where you lot are ready to leave, able to leave, etc. Cool. How are you leaving?
Ruby will have hugged everyone, any other siblings that will have appeared because they've been told that she's leaving. The two brothers will have been given the other two acorns.
Pearl does not appear.
Megan is left with strict instructions about exactly how tight to hug Pearl and the baby again, and Darren, but the baby.
And the baby's like, what the fuck?
There is a point where you're worried that Ruby might ask if she can bring the baby with.
Big Jimmy, you must stay. I will take the child instead. So you give the acorn to Big Jimmy?
Give one to Jimmy and one to Robbie.
Okay.
And hugs all around. Especially for Kai, because he's a good boy.
Obviously. He puts his cig away.
All the dogs are goodies, boys. Bjorn said so yesterday.
That is very true, for fuck's sake. The crossover is scary. So, hugs are given back. Jimmy and Robbie, big sister's going away again. They're alright with it. Jimmy is clearly lying to himself and drowns his sorrows in jam sandwiches. Tries to get as much of it on his face as possible to hide any tears that may or may not show from the onion ninjas hiding in the rafters. Robbie, however, cares not for the witnesses and does shed tears of a soft, joyful goodbye. He's dead happy that you're going on an adventure. He was more than happy to hear of Jeremiah still being alive and such throughout your talks yesterday and today and through in the yard and that. And he is surrounded by animals. Small creatures that don't seem to be skittish around anyone, including the 6'5" lion. But yes, and they all seem to do little goodbyes as well, but not in the way Jeremiah would. But they all allow scritches and dive on you and such. So how do you leave, Ruby? What is your plan? Tree stride straight to Toodles?
Tree stride.
Cool. What is the tree you're striding to? One nearby or straight into Arcarian's face?
There is actually a large oak tree in the garden that Ruby sleeps under. That is where she got the acorns. That's probably
the best place. So where you landing is what I'm asking. Just a nearby tree near Toodle's cabin?
Probably the one that sticks in Ruby's mind is the intertwined ash and oak tree.
So straight into Okarian's face.
Yep.
So, you go out into the yard under instruction from Ruby. Obviously the tree you've seen all day. As she goes over to it, Ruby, you hear Ma and Pa having a bit of a quieted conversation. Give me a perception check. They're clearly disagreeing about something, or trying to agree but disagreeing.
That is a 15.
15?
Yeah.
You hear your mother say, she's my daughter. And you hear Dave say, and she always will be, but you still need to give her it. She goes, fine. And your mum walks back into the house. And Dave just looks at you. Ruby dear, just hang a moment, we have a parting gift. Moments pass, and your mum comes back, and she's holding a peacock feather. And she just walks over and she goes, "Now, it's quite obvious that you didn't get your height from me or your dad, but this was with you as a bairn, yes. It's been away and hidden, and well, not hidden, just out of sight. But you should take it with you. It is as much of you as you are of us." And she squeezes the hand of Dave.
There are more hugs given. Bigger, squeezier hugs. And Ruby is certain this time that when she says goodbye, she calls them Mum and Dad.
Mum hugs you tight, tears completely falling. No tears from your dad, but when he hugs you tight, he just whispers, "Even shepherds can be wolves," in your ear. And steps back, and they just stand holding hands while you eviscerate the oak tree in front of you with magic. As Ruby performs the tree striding spell using the autumn leaf markings upon her forearm to open a portal, now no longer in the Fey realm but in the material realm of the Copper Forest / Forest of Ravenholm, to the twisting of ash and oak, the seed of the new Copper Forest that Ruby is responsible for accelerating. And you all step through, I believe. Yes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Ruby with the last look behind her.
Now, as you look and you see the farm disappear, being the last one through. Two seconds, I just need to change the music. Nope, no. As the magic takes you, and you all step through. Sapphire. The last time.
You wish you didn't touch that fucking mirror now, didn't you, big cat?
As you step through the tree and the magic takes you, you've done this before with Solomon, with Owlbearer, with your surrounding coconuts. The pale green and mint colours of the magic that usually encompass you as you zip through this portal of travel, this arcane method, something grabs you. Like full on, as if you are a fly and a ginormous hand just reaches out and just grabs you from the magic and pulls you out of this teleportation and places you. And that force, that giant hand or whatever it was that grasped you, has gone. Beneath your large padded paws, there is a stone floor, and every now and then you can hear footsteps. But you can't see into the darkness where these footsteps are coming from. They are casual. They go behind you, to your left, to your right. You look around, it is indeed a stone floor, with stone walls akin to a castle. There is no decoration, no drapes, no insignia. It is just an ancient stone room from the looks of it. The stonework itself does not match anything of Ravenholm. It doesn't match anything of the temples and how they were built in the Vale Dynasty, or even some of the mountain stone used in some of the dwellings and structures in the tundras of Viconia. There is a small breeze just echoes around you. You're trying to look for its source. You don't see any doors. There's nothing in front of you. And then a spinning of air. And in front of you is a woman. Her dark hair all the way down past her ass, maybe to the back of her knees. Her skin is of dark grey, closer to it's probably the darkest grey, like fire smoke grey. Her eyes have a golden tinge to her irises. She is striking enough that, I mean, I'd say Harry would have a go, but could have been a fucking mannequin. Do you know what I mean? But she stands before you. The clothing she is wearing is of a fashion you've not yet seen. There are... it has the decorations and embroidery and the floofiness that you've seen Harry sometimes wear with some of his shirts when you first met, and it was more... you spent more time in the towns and the cities. There is a elegance about what she wears. It is fitting to her form. It is expensive. It is very well decorated. She's wearing high boots that go up past the knees, but they're flat-soled, maybe used for travelling or riding or some such. But they are definitely more... what's the word? Oh, I can't think of the word. They are definitely more... I can't think of the word. Practical. Than somebody wearing such elegance. You'd expect, from looking at her from head and working your way down, because that's what Sapphire's doing, is decided to look her up and down. The top half is very elegant and silky and expensive, and again with the embroidery and the filigree across the shirt, you'd think that she was somewhere formal or about to be somewhere formal. But as you get to the lower half, you can see that her trousers and these high boots are made for walking, are made for more practical things, travelling or just moving around in a terrain that doesn't welcome dancing folk or those looking to dress to impress rather than practicality. She sits, and you don't see the stone chair until you see her sat on it, as she crosses her legs. And she pulls a silver chain out from underneath the shirt collar and is just playing with the chain. There is an amulet on the chain, but it's in her hands at the minute. Give me a perception check.
That's all the night. 16.
16. Oh, I've got a reroll. Thanks for the reroll. So, cheers now. You can see every now and then the light in here is from an unknown source. It's dim light, so you can see her. She can clearly see you, and there is a luminescentness about the area, but you can't see a torch or anything. See that, love? But you do see that the amulet in her hand is a small mirror, an oval-shaped mirror with some silver work around it, and she's just playing with this amulet. She looks at you, breathes deeply, rests. Her eyes are closed, and she opens them, stares back, the golden glint in her irises. You are the one they call Sapphire, yes?
He almost defensively crosses his arms. Just, that is what they call me, yes.
You shared a drink with my sister.
His eyes close, and he takes a long, deep breath, resulting in a sigh. I did indeed.
And how was it? Sweet? Bitter?
Coppery.
You should have refused the drink, Sapphire.
You know, looking back on it, you're probably correct.
So why did you take it? Why did you step into our home?
Well, I didn't mean to step through the mirror, to be fair. I thought it was going to potentially be useful and was trying to show companions. As for the drink, I honestly was in a rush to get back to where I was. There was a lot going on at the time. And I thought at the time it was the quickest and easiest way to get out of your home, I suppose.
Calthias tells me you like to fight back, that you resist the call of my sister, that you even resisted Calthias when you walked in the dynasty. Is this true?
Yes, it is. I had just watched Calthias destroy my home.
He has a temper.
Yeah, he's a dick.
There's no reaction.
I was a bit sad at that. He was aiming for a reaction.
Do you walk the path of mercy?
I don't myself, no.
But you know who does.
I have seen the way of mercy being used, yes.
Was he dear to you?
He was like a second father, yes.
A second father? So lucky.
My first wasn't the best. Why? Do you not have parents? You and your sisters?
I wouldn't call them a parent, but they are an origin for us. Your anger, your first father, yes? And she is full on, she stands up and she is stalking around you, looking you up and down multiple times, seeking, and says, your anger from your first father.
Yeah, look, why does this interest you so much?
2 reasons. You stepped into our home and drank with my sister. She shared hospitality without my permission. I don't like that. Secondly, you resist, even now. I have cast no magics upon you. I can see it, feel it. I can taste it. Your defiance. You keep the anger suppressed. You do not wield it in a way that I have seen anger wielded before.
Combination of training by my second father and my desire to do better for this world. Yes.
And what is better for this world?
From the looks of it, not seeing you and your sisters walking among it.
And of what evidence do you have of this? That it would be a terrible thing?
Well, I saw what Colossus did just to get to my master, so...
Children have tempers. They smash the toys they are given. Your master was offered to come willingly. I see where your defiance came.
We are not toys. Our lives are not things you can throw about. And I am far from the only one who will resist.
You speak of your friends walking through trees.
I speak of a number of people that I have met in this world.
And are they all powerful and will help you, Sapphire, when the time comes to defeat the big bad people from the mirror?
I know a lot of them hate the demons that you're currently using as pawns, yeah.
Well, good luck to Kelthias. You're such powerful friends. I'm sure Kelthias will be a breeze to walk through. Take away his toys. Easy. What do you want after the demons are gone and the big bad mirror folk are gone? Will you see the world as made better by your training and your merciful master and your suppressed rage?
I'll travel and do good. That's what I've wanted to do. That's what I've started to do. That's what I plan on continue doing.
And what does your sister say of this? Yes, Sapphire, I know Soultaker. She too stood in front of my mirror, but she spoke and conversed in a very different way. She did not share drink. She offered.
Soul Taker wanted our people safe. I know. She spoke to me of this.
And you believe her? Grown with her all these years, she was at the temple with you. No? No. She stayed home with your first father, the one who gave you the anger. What do you think he gave her after such a long time without her big, little, older brother? Without her, not there to guide. She has more anger than you know, Sapphire. And I happen to have a thing for anger.
Why didn't you like that your sister granted me hospitality?
Because she didn't ask for my permission. Hospitality is only granted to those in my home who I give. It is not for her to decide. And she puts her hand up to the shadows in a stopping manner. And looks that way with her hand up and then turns back to you.
Can Sapphire see anything to where she was holding her hand up?
Can you see in supernatural darkness?
Nope.
Then no.
Okay.
You can hear the footsteps, they are not hidden, or there is no attempt to make these footsteps quiet. But there is definitely footsteps around in the dark.
Oh, I see. So your sisters listen to you then?
Clearly not. And she looks again to the shadows. If she did, you wouldn't be here.
So what is it you want with me?
I'd like you to drink with I, and not her.
And why would I do that? You've just told me how stupid it was to do that with your sister.
Yes, because she controls you now, and I don't. And I don't like that.
You say she controls me. She's not done too great with it so far.
Give me a charisma save.
Oh, oh no.
You know what? At this point, you've just fucking brought it upon yourself.
Yep.
That's a 14 minus 1, so a 13.
We used to have a monk.
Yeah.
You hear in your voice, not the lady in front of you, but a voice familiar to the one that shared a drink with you. Sit on the floor cross-legged. And on a 13, you sit on the floor cross-legged.
Oh, that was a neat trick.
Have you ever been compelled to die, Sapphire?
I don't think so. I'm sure I'm still here.
It is not a feeling one should receive without permission. And looks across to the shadows again. Drink with me, and I will offer you a boon of your choosing. And I will grant that boon, for my word is law. For I am the true.
A boon to drink. Anything I choose?
Anything you choose.
The demons fuck off out of our realm and I'll drink with you.
I can fuck them off out of your realm, but I cannot prevent them from returning. And she smiles. I can put the child on the naughty step, but Kelthias will smash the naughty step. That is your one chance of me aiding your request of a boon. The next one you will have to figure out for yourself. And she produces a silver goblet No real design on it, just plain smooth. And there is a red liquid in it.
So, by aid, you mean I can reword and reconsider and then drink?
You can ask for a boon. You drink, and the boon is granted, and I will not advise. And she shushes the shadows. You may stand.
Sapphire will stand back up.
She's stood a foot from you.
Sapphire will try and hit her with the Naginata.
Oh, for God's sake. We used to have a month.
What's your dexterity?
18, so plus 4. My
Roll a-
dex save is, yeah.
Roll a
okay.
d20 and add your dex.
Remember, we have rerolls.
We do have rerolls. That was an 18 though. I feel like my rerolls would be lower than that. So that's a 22 total.
Cool. Your Naginata comes out, and she just does this. As your first blow comes swishing past her. If you wish to continue the fight, it will be initiative.
Now he swishes the first one past her and then just stabs it down into the ground beside him.
You are very fast. You could just join me, be with your sister, work together, siblings in arms, help her take souls. Bring her peace.
Nah, I'm good where I am, thanks.
Thirsty? She holds up the silver goblet, and again holds her hand up to the shadow.
No, I've been well looked after, thank you. I think I'll pass on the drink.
Do you wish to leave?
Yeah.
See any doors? You don't see any doors. Hold there, Sapphire. Hold there. Before we go any further, it's late. It's past 11. Right?
Is.
I need to get off. I know somebody else needed to get off. Who was it that needed to get off?
Sapphire.
Sapphire, yeah. Right. Before you decide how you wish to leave, I'm going to cliffhanger it there. Because I'm a bastard.
Brilliant.
So,
Smart.
we've got to go. I'm running late. Sapphire's running late. Thank you very much for staying on, Sean. I do apologise about that.
No, that's fine, thank you.
Thank you lot for watching. It's been brilliant. Thank you for the subs, the follows. It's just crazy. Like, thank you so much. The last few weeks have been mental. I hope you enjoyed the stories. I hope you enjoyed the sandwiches. I hope you enjoyed this lot doing their thing. Please join us on our social medias, etc., etc., etc. Ah, Angela Luna. I hope you're doing well over there, Ange, and thank you for jumping in. Right, take care of yourselves. We're gonna go away now, and for now, so goodbye, players.
Bye, players.
Yeah, where's the bye-bye?